What's going on, replay viewers? Good morning, replay viewers. Replay viewers, can we see who's tuning on in? Activity 79 is the first one in the room, and Sally Skipico, welcome. Good to see you, Travis Weeks, and Rudy Loving Life, welcome. Rudy the Nice Guy is letting us know that the new Insta 360 is here. Thank you so much for the advertisement. Good to see you, Dean N. and Lewis Murphy, welcome. Good to see you, Velvet Ann and BX Girl, welcome on in. Good to see you, Ronnie C. Good morning, everybody. We're going to let some more people tune on in so they could enjoy the tour. We're going on a walking tour, classic walking tour. Haven't done it in a while, of Central Park. We're going to wait for, we're going to wait for 60 likes. 60 likes we're waiting on right now. So we're just going to hang out here and talk. Welcome on in to Midtown Manhattan. Good to see you, Dwayne, up there in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Good to see everybody, people, on this Monday morning. It's a gloomy Monday morning here in New York City. But luckily the rain has cleared. And business takes me here to Midtown this morning. So we are here to do a classic walking tour of Central Park. So I think we'll see a lot of the landmarks other than, I think we're going to miss today. I think we'll skip Harlem. But if we have a special request to go see Seneca Village, I think we'll do Seneca Village if you'd like to as well. But good to see you, Sweet Cheetah and CB Earth Day. Welcome on in. And it's okay, Rudy's. It's okay, man. Enjoy the Insta 360 camera there. Good to see you, Dwayne. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. And CB Earth Day, welcome on in. April, you are not invisible. Good to see you, April. April Loving Life, welcome on in. Good to see you. Did I miss you, April? Good, yeah, see April Loving Life. Good to see you. Good morning, April. Oh no, good morning from the hospital. Joy, I'm sorry to hear that. Speedy recovery, Joy. Speedy recovery. You're not invisible. Nobody's invisible here. I may miss your comment. But Loco, Tutti Frutti. Good to see you, Loco. Welcome on in. Good morning, everybody. I had my coffee. And now we're here to enjoy a walk around Central Park. We're waiting for 60 likes, 60 likes. I'm not normally on at this time, so everybody's not rushing in, which is good because this will be a walking tour today. But good to see you, Catherine Drew. Welcome on in. Good morning. And Dash Donovan, good morning. Welcome on in. Good to see you, Cliff Padilla. Welcome. Good morning. A classic walking tour. People literally pay me for this, so I'm going to show you what I do for work. But good morning, everybody. 10:08 in the morning here in the greatest city in the world, New York, New York. We're going to see some beautiful sights. Maybe we'll see the sun come out. I know, Activity 79, perfect time for you guys out in Europe. Exactly. Good to see you, Bandman. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for hitting that like button, Bandman. Good to see you. Are you in New York yet? You're coming up to New York soon, right? NYC, girl, not the best weather, but, I'll take it. It's not like 1,000 degrees. By the end of the tour, it should be nice and warm in, like, the 90s. Oh, Michelle K is watching me and the walking... Is the walking commuter on? Let me see here. I'll leave him a like right now because thanks to the walking commuter, I have this setup here going. Oh, shit, walking commuter's on a ferry. He just got off the ferry. Oh shit, look at that. So everybody check out the walking commuter. He is on an adventure right now. Just hopped off the ferry, it looks like. Oh, that's cool. Everyone check out the walking commuter. He is a great live streamer, content creator from right here in Manhattan. Good to see you, Danette. Good morning. I hope you and Anthony are doing well. Fantastic coverage of the parade. So everyone check out Today and Anthony. Are we going to the Central Park Zoo? No, we're not, Steven. We're not going to go to the Central Park Zoo. That requires money to go into. So no, we're not. We'll see the outside of the zoo. How about that? We'll see the outside of the zoo. But it'll be cool. It'll be cool this morning. The museums are cool, but a lot of museums don't like you to live stream in there. But good to see you, Stephen Edwards. Good to see you, Carol813. Good to see you there, Dwayne. And Mrs. Metalhead Warrior, good morning. Good morning, Beatles fan, 48. We're waiting for 60 likes, 60, and then we'll begin the tour. So we'll let everybody tune on in here. But we're waiting for 60 likes, so when you come on in, make sure you hit that like button. Tip your tour guide, it's free. Unless you want to give me a super chat or PayPal. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Robert T. Welcome. And good to see you, Serge. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Yes, indeed. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Who has a case? I don't have a case of the Mondays, but you never know. You never know. But yeah, today we are doing a classic walking tour of the Central Park, everybody. Yeah. I'll tell you some history about the park. Maybe I'll show you a picture or two from inside the park when they were building it. I don't know. Well, we haven't done a proper tour in a while here. And Jay Stroll's good. Jay, you were the one who mentioned this last night, so I appreciate this. So good to see you, Jay. Welcome on in. Jay Stroll's mentioned this. I think it was on last night's 10 o'clock show. Maybe a walk of Central Park. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. No Monday? Good. Good. And no case of Mondays there. Good. You love Mondays because it's your day. Oh, me too, Michelle. Michelle, when I was ready, oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna tell you what that display is in a moment, but Mrs. Metalhead Warrior, bloody hell, with a $20 super chat. Mrs. Metalhead Warrior, thank you so much for the very generous $20 super chat. Thank you for joining today's $20 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $20 super chat. And Catherine Drew with a big $5 super chat. Catherine, thank you so much with the very generous $5 super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's $5 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $5 super chat. And Mrs. Metalhead Warrior with a big $20 super chat. Y'all bought my subway fare and breakfast out here, so thank you guys. All this money will be going to getting my connection here on the second phone here. But we're gonna see this exhibit here. We're gonna see this display here once we get going here. The tour shall begin with art, everybody. So in front of us is a pop-up exhibit by the Museum of the City of New York called Above Ground Midtown, and it features Artist Days. No Rockaway today, Lewis. We're in Central Park today. We're doing Central Park. Now you got a chance to change into your office tee. Nice. Change into your office tee then. This will be a great tour, April. Breakfast of Champions, Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts $7 meal deal. The coffee was delicious and the sausage, egg, and cheese wraps were even better. So they were nice and crispy. So Dutch runs on Dunkin'. All right, waiting for 5 more likes and then we'll begin the tour. So make sure you hit that like button there and we will begin our one. This is literally a walking tour. This is something that you would get if you paid for me. So if it's like my audition tape if you ever want to hire me for a tour. At some point I will leave my body and just be in tour guide mode, and we're going to be in tour guide mode for a big chunk of this morning. So good to see everybody, people. Welcome on into the show. But yeah, we're going to see the art here in a moment here. So in front of us is kind of like an empty storefront, or I think they're doing construction in there. And yeah, they got some really awesome art by New York Artist Days. But good morning, Kirsty Perkowski. Bloody hell. Loco Tutti Frutti with a... I thank you. Thank you so much, Loco Tutti Frutti, with a $2 super chat. Loco Tutti Frutti, thank you so much for the very generous $2 super chat. Thank you for joining today's $2 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $2 super chat. Deb is joining us on Twitch over there in London. Good morning, Deb, or good afternoon, Deb. And Stephen Edwards says that Dunkin' Donuts is planning a major expansion into Canada. That is the talk of the town. Hey, I mean, I don't know if we get people to leave their Timmys for Dunkin's, but you never know. But thank you so much to Deb and Sweet Cheetah for being over there on Twitch, and everybody else over on Twitch. Welcome on in. We're waiting for 65 likes, and then we'll begin the tour. But yes, indeed, thank you so much for supporting the channel, Loco, and Mrs. Metalhead Warrior, and Catherine Drew. Yeah, this is my show reel. Yeah, this is my show reel, exactly. This is my show reel, people. Yeah, this is my show reel. So I hope everyone's having a great month. I hope everybody's having. And if you're getting into work there, hope you don't have too crazy of a day at work. Bloody hell! A great start to the Monday indeed. And John Yukis with a $10 super chat. John, thank you so much with the very generous $10 super chat. Thank you so much for today's $10 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $10 super chat. And just like that, we have hit 61 likes. Let's enjoy a walking tour of Central Park. You're probably the only person who's never had Dunkin'. Listen, April, it's okay. If you're a coffee connoisseur, you might not like it. But thank you so much, John, for supporting the channel. Thank you so much to everyone for supporting the channel. Hit that like button. It's free. And let's enjoy. Let's have Central Park for breakfast, huh, people? Grab yourself a coffee or a tea if you're out there in the UK, and let's have Central Park for breakfast or lunch or for tea time. Good to see you, Lopez. Lopez, welcome on in. Scottish, welcome on in. CB Earth. Did I miss anybody? CB Earth Day, welcome on in. Let's enjoy Central Park on this Monday morning. Oh, hells yeah. And Jay Strolls with a $2 super chat. Jay, thank you so much for the very generous $2 super chat. Thank you for joining today's $2 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $2 super chat. And everybody check out Jay Strolls. He's a great content creator out there in San Antonio. He put up a video not that long ago. Check out his walk around the Riverwalk and more. Everyone check out Jay Strolls. Jay, thank you so much for the very generous $2 super chat. Good to see you, B-Band 109. Welcome on in. All right, let's do it, people. Let's see the arts. Let's see the arts. So we got these empty storefronts here. Well, they sometimes turn them into art galleries. But we got one of my favorite artists here, Days, has some art right here. So let's check it out. On to Madison Avenue we go. Good to see you, Phyllis. Welcome on in. I love this little private little public pop here. Privately owned public space. Like having my breakfast in there. It's nice and chill. Nobody bothers me in there. It's nice. Check it out, people. Check it out. Look at this. This looks great. Now, Days had some work in Coney Island up for a while, and we've seen Days at the what is it called? The Bushwick Collective. Look at the old school subway seat there with the flowers. How beautiful is that? Good morning, Phyllis. Welcome on in. Good morning, everybody, people. And Sally Skipico with a $1 super chat. Sally, thank you so much with the very generous $1 super chat. Thank you for joining today's $1 club. Much, much, much appreciated. With a big $1 super chat. Thank you so much there, Sally. Shout out to all the channel members as well. Thanks to you guys, I'm able to do this. It's a nice little collection here. A nice little collection. by Days and the Museum of the City of New York. Have to poop in a grill cake. Sounds good. Stay safe there, Scottish. Stay safe, man. Nothing like that morning poop. Am I right, people? Anyway. Very colorful and beautiful, right, Danette? Oh, it's like misting. Okay, it's doing that mist shit. Alright. Whatever. I'll take the mist shit over 5,000 degrees in direct sunlight. The equipment will like me today. Isn't that nice art? Alright, we're walking north on Madison Avenue right now. We're gonna cut across to the Apple store. Actually, let's go see our Sesame Street friends. They're right here. We'll cut across here. Oh. And another one. And Sally Skipico with another $1 super chat. Thank you so much, Sally, with another $1 super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's $1 club a second time. Much, much, much appreciated with another $1 super chat. You glad it wasn't real? It was on Windows? Yeah. Yes, I know Wednesday is the start of Dunkin's Fall Drinks. I know. I don't get the pumpkin spice stuff though. I don't like the pumpkin spice stuff. Sally, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, let's go see some Sesame Street characters here. Cigarette smoking. The cigarette smokers. Alright, these are the artists who created this wonderful piece of art. Gillian Mark created this here. One of my favorite works in the city. Here is Big Bird having his morning apple with the very stylish Rabbit Woman and Dog Man having their coffee. Just having a simple kind of morning. What, the connection is bad in here? I wonder how bad the connection is in here. It's struggling. Wow, okay. Might be a little bit milky for you guys at home there. Let's see if I move across the atrium here. See what, oh yeah, it gets a little bit better over here. And then here's Bert and Ernie hanging out with the gorilla, having an ice cream. Is that a Pez dispenser? Or look, it's a little rubber ducky. Oh, I didn't notice that. Alberto Farzoli, buongiorno. Buongiorno, Italy. Let's see, this is my favorite one over here. The big rhinoceros. The big rhinoceros with Cookie Monster. This rhinoceros just told a really dirty joke. He told the dirtiest of jokes, and Cookie Monster is just laughing it up. Oh my goodness. Karen J. McLean, good morning. I'm trying, Sally. Thank you so much. You're so addicted to even order Dunkin' sometimes in the morning. Nice. Swipe, swipe, everybody. Swipe, swipe. Sesame Street for life, right? And then here's little Elmo with the gigantic elephant enjoying their little juice boxes. Yes. This is my favorite. If I could ever have like a backyard with this, oh my god. All right. Let's head out this way. You know, it's Sesame Street. It's Mr. Rogers. They all very much shaped my life. And now my new favorite quote is that PBS didn't become woke, you just became a horrible person. Anyway, and I know I'll get in trouble for saying that. I don't care. I don't give a shit. All right, back on out to we're on Billionaires Row here, 57th Street. 57th Street. Look at that, can't see the top of the buildings. Low clouds today with the mist falling. And then everybody wants pictures in front of Louis Vuitton. And those are the gigantic cargo containers. This travel suitcases, or trunks, sorry, travel trunks of Louis Vuitton. And then Tiffany's, right next door. Where is it? Whatever happened to that band, Deep Blue something? They still play, right? They still play. Right, Perfectly Candid, you agree? Good to see you. Good morning, Perfectly Candid. You still here in Harlem? Or did you make your way out to the West Coast? Yeah, Cookie Monster with Elmo, yeah. They're all cute. I will take them all. If I could have a gigantic backyard, I'll just take them all. Gillian Mark just makes such great art. So great to see it. We're walking on 5th Avenue. Right, Captain Kangaroo. You're dating yourself, Carol. Carol, you're dating yourself. Miss Francis. I don't even know who Miss Francis is, but I know I can trust her. I know she has some words of wisdom, Miss Francis. I had a Miss Molly, but that was Romper Room. You know, who was my Romper Room teacher? That was Miss Molly on WWOR Channel 9. Good morning, Wilbs. Driving American Truck Simulator. You know, I'm probably going to get home so early today. I'm going to be able to go home and play some truck sim. I very much resonate with Cookie Monster. You know, Cookie Monster is a great example of not giving a shit. You just eat those cookies, make a mess. That's how you live life, people. No regrets. Still waking up in Harlem? Okay, long for the days of labor. I feel ya. I know, Wilbs. It's kind of misty out here right now. Kind of misty out here. You're a 90s kid, grew up without cable? Yeah, so exactly. Me. See, Wishbone. See, that means that you're like a little bit younger than me. My nephew loved Wishbone. So thus I watched a lot of Wishbone. My nephew did not like Arthur. And thank God my nephew never liked Caillou. Ugh. It was funny, when my nephew got a little bit older, when I was taking him to go to the city and buy Pokemon cards, we would always make fun of Caillou. Or Caillou. I know, you guys need rain over there. Has it been a month since London has rain? That's crazy. Yeah, Truck Sim for the win, right? Right, Activity 79. Hey, the Pulitzer Fountain's finally all done up again. Animal at the Plaza, there you go. Pat Freed, well, good morning. Coney Island Jim. Cookie Monster is my spirit. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Grover is yours. Makes sense, Jim. Good morning, Jim. Good to see you. Yeah, no, the smart kids hated Caillou. He was like the worst. Oh my God, Magic Garden on Channel 11. Joe Mooski, good morning. You're dating yourself, Joe. You're dating yourself. Good morning, Joe. So Miss Francis had a show called Ding Dong School in the early 50s. She was a, wow, she was a phys ed. She had a doctorate in education. Wow, very respected field. Nice. Yeah, those condos are up in the clouds today. They really are. Steve LaPointe, good morning. Wishbone was cute because that dog was just so well behaved. Wishbone was cute. My nephew loved Wishbone. And I loved the show too. But good morning, everybody. We're about to do Central Park. I'm kind of formulating a little route in my head. We're gonna really, in my mind, we're gonna freestyle. I'm not gonna do a standard walking tour. This will be a walking tour plus route today. So you will see stuff on our walk today that I don't normally show regular guests because it's either out of the way or we have to go up or down stairs. But whenever I do a Central Park walking tour, I like to avoid stairs and stuff like that. So, doing a lot of construction in the Sherry Netherlander. Wow. Captain Kangaroo and Pixan. Yeah, you're a lot older than me, John. You're dating yourself, my friend. Magic School Bus was your shit. That was a wild show. I have been up to one Vanderbilt. I've been up to Vanderbilt, but never the. I have been to, like, I guess all the rooms in one Vanderbilt. Good morning, Tommy Dance. Good morning, Tommy. Welcome on in. Let's do it. Let's head into the park, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderama was your show? Nice. Yeah, Mr. Rogers based some of his show on Ding Dong School. Oh, that makes sense. My favorite Mr. Rogers song is It's You I Like. So, I dedicate that to everyone watching this stream on the live and on the replay, even my haters. But this is it. Central Park. 843 acres large, or 341 hectares large. It's a 52 block deep park. It goes from 5th Avenue behind me to 8th Avenue in front of us, between 59th and 110th Streets. Yeah, Magic Garden, that's before my time. That's before my time. But good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. As we walk 59th Street, Central Park is beautiful. You know, especially right now because it rained this morning, it should be really nice and lush. Yep, the pond right down there has no special name, just the pond. Sal Muscles, good morning. So right here we have this little white apartment building here with the balconies. This is where Tony Bennett used to live. And if you ever wondered why Tony Bennett did the duet album with Lady Gaga, that is because they were neighbors in this building. They were neighbors. Lady Gaga lived up at the penthouse, and Tony Bennett had a more modest apartment a little further down. You want to do Gatsbo Bridge? We could do Gatsbo Bridge. You got it. We do Gatsbo Bridge. Like I said, we're freestyling our tour today. But let's begin our tour in Central Park with some words from the great Tony Bennett. You know, Tony Bennett used to love to come into the park and paint, and on a few occasions I actually got to witness that in person, and every time never bothered him. I saw other people bother him, but I would never bother Tony Bennett. I would let him relax. There's the Vatican. Hi, she's a crazy person. Hi. The Vatican. The fuck is she talking about? Anyway. Alright, so now we're entering the park here at 6th Avenue. Here's the statue of Jose Marti. This is here at the end of the Avenue of Americas here. Jose Marti was he really galvanized the beginning of the Cuban Revolution. There's actually a statue of him out in Havana, Cuba, but this statue here depicts him of him being shot on his horse right here. So good to see you, Myrna. Stephen Edwards thought Tony Curtis was a painter. He might have been. The carriage guy is already ready to go. Yeah, we're going to start our tour with some words from Tony Bennett. Good to see you, Danette and Anthony now. Everyone check out Danette and Anthony. Two fantastic people from Queens. They came out here to the Indian Independence Day Parade yesterday. So check out their coverage there. DJ Dirty used to work at Mailbox Etc. over on 57th Street between 8th and 9th Avenue. He used to ship paintings for Tony. That's cool. Yeah, he used to sell them. That's the crazy thing. Joe Hernan, good to see you. So here it is. Here is the Tony Bennett bench. This is placed here on his birthday not that long ago, August 3rd. Guys, remember, as Tony Bennett would always say, nature is the boss. Remember that, okay? Nature is the boss at all times. Nature is the boss. I want you to keep that in mind as we walk through this amazing man-made landscape that is Central Park. None of this is real. This is all landscape architecture designed by Frederick Lahr Olmsted and Calvert Vaux. No, Steve, that has to go through a committee before they get banned, Steve. I think you skipped a couple of steps there. Are you getting your news from RT or something like that? There's a whole process you got to go through before they ban the carriage horses. They want to ban them. People from the Central Park Conservancy want to ban them. But there's a whole process before they are actually banned. So the discussion is happening. They haven't been banned yet. Anyway, the only natural feature of Central Park that predates the park is right here. This is Manhattan schist, the bedrock of Manhattan Island. We used 266 tons of gunpowder to shape this glacier rock. And that is more gunpowder that was used than was used at the Battle of Gettysburg. There are many design concepts for Central Park. In the end, all deemed to be far too small. There was a last stand of trees, a little bit of forest left over on the east side by the East River by 75th Street, called the Jones Wood, and that was deemed to be too small. And then when they finally settled on this area of Manhattan, you know, this was an area of like scrubland. It was all rocky bogs and little streams. It was very hard to grow anything on this land and build on it. There were people living here, and we will talk about that in a little bit. But let's head down. We have a request for the Gatsbo Bridge. Tour guide Daniel doing a tour right there as well. But the park was designed by Frederick Lahr Olmsted, Calvert Vaux. Frederick Lahr Olmsted is an American-born landscape architect. Had a lot of connections in government. That's how he pretty much got the job. He was kind of like an inside job. Then they brought on his friend, or kind of his friend, in government and business, kind of, because it's other people who brought him into it. And that was Calvert Vaux. Calvert Vaux is a British-born landscape architect. So he designs the infrastructure that makes the park run. But of course, Frederick Lahr Olmsted, he got all the kudos, if you will. And that was because he was like the main man. There was always a problem with their relationship, like who really took the lead. And in the end, Calvert Vaux kind of felt like a very distant second. He was definitely the Oates in the Hall & Oates relationship of landscape architecture. There's 58 miles of pedestrian pathways. We are not walking all 58 miles. The park is like almost 4 miles from north to south, and a little over a half a mile from east to west. Probably too much info, probably. Good to see you, Lillian. Gotta have fun in the park. Oh, hells yeah. I'll see you on the highways on ATS there, Wilbs. Hells yeah. Yeah, surprise. Lillian, good morning. We're doing Central Park for breakfast. We have a request for the Gatsbo Bridge. So that is where we're going to right now. But if you want to build Central Park at home, you can. All the instructions are on the internet. All you need is 27,000 trees, 9,000 benches, 11.5 million cartloads of topsoil, 3,000 plants, shrubs, and bushes, and of course 843 acres of land. We're coming up to the Gatsbo Bridge. Of course, this is a filming location for Home Alone 2. The Bird Lady scene was filmed right down there along the waterfront there. And this is the pond, no special name, just called the pond. The Gatsbo Bridge is actually a replacement bridge. Originally there was a wooden bridge that was here that burned down just a couple of years after the park opened up. So this is a new bridge built in like 1860. You see all this rock here? This is all the leftover rock from the construction of the park. And actually the pond is really shallow today. There was a great, very beautiful little duck. His name was we had the little Mandarin duck here, and we live streamed him a couple of times from right here. I don't know how many raccoons are in the park, Steve. I'm sorry. I don't know how many. Thank you so much for the gotcha question of the morning. And the squirrel population is like what, 1,000 or 2,000? Something like that. But I don't know how many raccoons. There was a lady who was feeding raccoons always in the park. But now in Home Alone 2, Kevin comes running over this bridge, and then they cut instantly to a scene where he is in Washington Square Park. That kid certainly ran around town. Ooh, it's gonna be humid today. I'm feeling that humidity kick in. Very tropic. Very tropical here this morning. So now originally the pond used to go all the way over here to where the Kate Wallman rink is today. And now we have a proper skating rink there. Back in the day, they used to lower the level of the pond in the winter and let it freeze over. It was all the water features except for the Harlem Mere are fed by New York City tap water. So it's completely controllable. And I hope you're having a great day there, William. Welcome on in. And good to see you, Jerry. Good morning. But over here, the Kate Wallman Rink, built in 1961. Philanthropist Kate Wallman got the money together to build this lovely and iconic ice skating rink. It is the summertime, so pickleball courts fill up the Kate Wallman Rink right now. We used to be able to walk through there. Now that's part of the zoo. It's like an access area for the zoo. Look at this big outcropping of Manhattan schist. Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux worked with nature, not against it. They took the European idea of a park that's very, ornate and clean, and they created a more rustic kind of a feeling here in Central Park to give you the idea that you are walking through nature, you're convening with nature. Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux were transcendentalists. They believed that walking through a space like this can help you and cure you from the ailments of alcoholism and even adultery. Good to see you, H. Flores. Welcome on in. Carol, you're more than welcome, Carol. Good to see you, Jeanette Trainer, out there in Glasgow. Good morning. And right here, one of the 4 original buildings built for and designed for Central Park. This is the dairy. It was built in 1865, 1867. And as the name suggests, the dairy, you used to get dairy products from here, so milk and cheese. And when this first opened, there were actually cows grazing right here. Now in the 1890s, there was a bit of a listeria scare, so they stopped selling dairy products in this building, but they still sell stuff today. It is still a store today. It is the Central Park gift shop. And if you want to smell like Central Park, you can
because there is some official Central Park perfume that is available in there. And if you want to smell Central Park, the main note of fragrance is lavender. Lavender is the official smell of Central Park. It's amazing. No, Jay, you come out here, you convene with nature. You know, you transport yourself up to maybe the Adirondacks or something like that. You are getting a world-class tour. I've been doing this for 12 years. I've been doing this full time. And I haven't walked Central Park in a while for you guys. So thank you, Jay Strolls. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for saying maybe a walk through Central Park. It's always the best. All right, let's go see the Kate Wallman rink. And you're more than welcome, April. Let me entertain you guys, all right? Let me entertain you guys on this dreary morning. This is my job. All these rolling hills here. Actually, there's an archway right down there, and they use that as well in Home Alone 2. Kevin walks through the archway, then they show him coming out of the archway, but it's like from the same angle, which is kind of funny. Exactly. There you go, Steven. There you go. I mean, Jay, me and the Duchess actually had a weekend out here where we stayed. We were on the same block as a Dakota. And it was incredible just to stumble out of your house and be right here. You're too busy walking to commit adultery. Exactly, Joe. But here is the Kate Wallman rink. And here we get a great view of the skyscrapers of Billionaires Row, which are now in the clouds. The narrowest skyscraper in the world is right here. This is 111 West 57th Street, also known as the Steinway Tower. It is the thinnest building in the world with a width to height ratio of 1:24. And then the building that started it all is right here. This is 157 West 57th Street. This was the first super tall building along 57th Street, but it has a kind of an infamous story during Hurricane Sandy. The tower crane, in the height of the wind and the storm of Hurricane Sandy, the crane toppled over, and we were worried that the top of the crane was going to fall down onto 57th Street and cause some major damage. Luckily, that never happened, but yeah, the tower crane snapped, and then we could barely see it in the clouds. The Central Park South Tower, also known as the Normstrom Tower, because there's an 8th-floor Normstroms at the base of that building. That building features the most expensive and highest residence in the world. At the very top of this building is an amazing 12-bed. I always said 10 bedrooms. It's actually 12 bedrooms. It's on 4 levels. Features the world's highest private terrace, and that sold a couple of years back for the bargain basement price of $235 million. So, yes, she did, Cliff. Yes, she did. Unfortunately, the woman who played the pigeon lady passed away, unfortunately. But very sad. But good to see you, Ozzy. And H. Flores, welcome on in. I'm trying, Ozzy. I'm trying. Good morning. Good to see you. I hope you guys aren't working too hard. But good to see everybody, people. Yeah, those dopey, skinny buildings are ugly, right? Exactly. I agree. Isn't this a great way to start off a Monday? Absolutely. Yeah, it was purchased by some Saudi guy. Some Saudi guy lives in the penthouse apartment to this. Oh, and I forgot to talk about the other one. Actually, we can't even see it. Holy shit, we can't even see it. Behind this white building here is 432 Park Avenue. It currently has a facade that's beginning to crack. And yeah, but we can't even see it today. In the 1970s, the Wallman rink had concerts sponsored by Schaefer Beer. Tickets were only $2.50. That's not bad. Sunday, you're here volunteering? For real? Thank you so much for maintaining the park. Oh my goodness, that's cute. I like that. Yeah, the Central Park Conservancy organizes all those little cleanups and various things. So big shout out to all the volunteers like H. Flores and Ozzy. Thank you so much for maintaining this beautiful park. I appreciate you. All right, so now we're gonna walk up this little pathway right here. At the top of this little hill here is the Chess and Checkers house. This was built in the 1950s. But originally, at the top of this hill was a simple outcropping of rock. When Central Park first opens up, there are no formal areas for children to play. There are actually quite a lot of rules here in Central Park. You couldn't run in the park, you couldn't play ball on the fields here in the park. You know, to put it lightly, there was no sweating allowed in Central Park. The way you used the park was you held your lover's hand while she twirled the parasol, you wandered down the pathways, convening with the birds and nature. But this area right here was the first play area here in the park. It was literally just an outcropping of rock with a whole bunch of handholds in it. And it was called Kid Mountain. So, yeah, for a child in the 1870s, all you got to do was climb on a rock. But good morning, Train Watch. Welcome on in. Really, April? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. But there it is. Today we have the Chess and Checkers house. Later on this afternoon, you could come here and borrow a chess board or a checkers board for absolutely free. It's pretty cool. And then here's a closer view of the dairy. This whole wooden structure here was recently restored. Looks beautiful. Now they knew that Central Park was going to grow around the city, so they created traverses. And these little overpasses were some of the first places in the world to use a system where it kind of separated pedestrians from vehicle traffic or carriage traffic back then. So we're right now crossing over 64th Street, 65th Street. And that traverse is right down there. Yes, once a promenade. But as we make our way over, we're going to head over to the main area where people used to show off their wealth and promenade. The mall is coming up next. And actually, I'm going to show you something that I don't show. You got to be really cool on my tour for me to show you this. So this is where we're going to go to. I'm going to show you something that, one, predates Central Park, and two, is the reason why Central Park is a rectangle. Okay? So, it is time to show you one of my favorite little pieces of hidden history. They haven't cut the grass up here in a while, it looks like. So we're going to walk up onto this outcropping of rock here. I'm going to get my shoes nice and wet, but you know what? For the walking tour, it's worth it. So ladies and gentlemen, in 1811, there was a surveyor, his name was John Randall Jr., and he was the one who created the grid plan of Manhattan Island. Between 1811 and 1813, him and his team of just like 10 people, they went all across the city, leaving either an iron stake or some kind of stone monument at every single major intersection of this grid plan. And a lot of the times he ended up in people's, farms or maybe their backyard or front yard. People, if they went on their private property, people would immediately knock them down or try to pull out the stakes. But in the early 2000s, people wondered, are there any of these markers left? And of course, they thought about a few places that deviate from the grid plan, like Central Park. And they stumbled upon this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the last grid marker bolts in all of Manhattan Island. Welcome to the corner of 65th Street and 6th Avenue. Right there. Now we know that this is a grid marker bolt because it is in mercury at the bottom there. And but there you have it. The last grid marker bolt Good morning, viewfinder. Welcome on in. But there it is. John Randall Jr. dealt with a lot of bullshit when he was creating the grid plan here. But he was able to get it done. And the original grid plan only went up to 155th Street. So everything else above 155th Street is kind of like an add-on. Even Central Park is kind of added on to. Originally, Central Park was only supposed to go as far north as 103rd Street, but we decided to go all the way up to 110th Street because the land was still available, and for the most part. And but that is not to say that people did not live here. So not that far from here, actually right over there, is the Sheep's Meadow, and that is where a German family-owned rock quarry used to be. So it looked nothing like this. When I say that this land looked nothing like this, it looked nothing like this. Every single inch of this is landscaped. And all the plans are on the internet. Each individual landscape is available for you in your hometown to recreate. But now, good to see Amish 45. Now, we're heading on into the only straight pathway in all of Central Park, and that's the mall. Oh, let's go.
For the wet shoes.
Thank you so much, Kim Jensing. Let's go. With a bloody hell, with a $50 super chat. Kim, thank you so much. With the very generous $50 super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's $50 club. Much, much, much appreciated. With a bag, $50 super check. Thank you so. You already dried off my shoe. Well, they're still wet, but thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kim. Good to see you. Thank you so much for your very generous support. Wow, very kind of you. Good morning, Mr. Metalhead. Welcome on in. And thank you so much, Kim Jensing. That is awfully kind of you. Now, we begin here at the southern end of the mall with Literary Walk. So on this side here, we have a statue of Christopher Columbus, the great explorer of his time. And then we come around here to the other side. So we have the adventurer to one side and the writer to the other side. And that is, of course, William Shakespeare. Wow, that's really cool, April. The Dakota's a beautiful building. Barn NFL, good to see you. We will see the Dakota later on in our tour. Now, what's funny is that the artist who did this statue of William Shakespeare, who's actually very angrily looking down at us, the artist who created this actually put his name on the front of the statue. That's something you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to put it on the back. But, you know, smile, William. You're in the park. Come on, the rain stopped. Good to see you, RJ, out there in Colorado. Now, right here, this is the Olmsted Garden, right here. And this used to be the entrance exit to a grand entrance called the Marble Arch. Now, before 1941, a lot of the original features were basically still here in the park. And again, one of those major features was to separate pedestrians and carriages or vehicle traffic. So at every major point of the park, there was like an underpass to go underneath the main drive, which is right over there. Right here, there was this amazing entrance called the Marble Arch, because this took you into what's really the heart of the park, the mall. So you went under here through this amazing marbled arcade, and then right up here you had some amazing steps here with columns, and everything was white marble. It was beautiful. Look up pictures of it. It's gorgeous. But in 1941, there was a guy, you might have heard of him. His name is Robert Moses. Robert Moses cared more about the automobile than people. And in 1941, he widened the main pathway of the park here. And in doing so, he actually destroyed many of the original features of the park, including this amazing marble arch. Now, all the historians that have talked about, or have talked to about Central Park, are very convinced that the marble arch is probably still underneath us. It obviously it's going to be damaged, it's filled in with dirt, but it's probably still there. All we have to do is excavated out. So Carol asks, why do you supposed to put the name on the back of a statue? So you don't think that the statue is this guy. We all know that this is William Shakespeare, but for somebody who doesn't know that's not William Shakespeare, they might think it's J.Q.A. Ward. So when you're doing historical figures, you're supposed to put your name, the artist's name, on the back so people don't think that this statue is you. So it's a major faux pas here. And by the way, this statue was created in 1870. Blue Max, you're more than welcome. Good to see you. It took 60,000 day laborers to build Central Park. Most of these day laborers came from the 5 Points. A lot of them were newly arrived immigrants from Germany and Ireland. And this was one of the first places in the United States where you had the nativist versus immigrant battle, because they were willing to work for a little bit less money than native New Yorkers or native people from the United States. So this is one of those first places where people had these big arguments about immigration and jobs, or people taking jobs from people. You got to understand, when Central Park opens, construction of the Central Park starts in 1855. So we're really far north from the city. The city only extended up to about 42nd Street, and then the rest of the way were basically just dirt paths to get up here. So if you were commuting from work, to and from work from the 5 Points in lower Manhattan, right by the courthouses, it will take you like almost 2 hours to get up here, maybe even 2.5 hours to get up here. So it was a slog to get up here. Also, getting back to the workers who created the park, this was also a segregated work site. So no African Americans at all were allowed to work in the park because it deemed like that the work was a little bit too good for them. And only 2 women were ever hired to help build Central Park, and they had the lovely job of basically cleaning the offices of the assistant architects and engineers. So, but it was a tough job nonetheless, and construction begins in 1855. This first lower section of the park, basically from 72nd Street South, this first section of the park opens up in 1858, and then the full park is realized by 1872, and then all the features in the park are still being built until the 1890s, so the 1880s and 1890s. So, but Link 5523, thank you so much for following. What did you just join? A walking tour in Central Park. Welcome to the only straight pathway in all of Central Park. This is the mall right over here, and we're about to walk down the mall right now. You're looking at one of the largest groves of great American elm trees in outside of Washington, D.C. and here in the United States. A lot of these elm trees are like either the 3rd or 4th generation of the trees that were originally planted here, and these are a very bug-resistant Central Park variant of the great American elm tree. And we have here a rock here. What does this rock say? The rock says that these American elms are the endowment in loving memory of William John Liebig, a pioneer in arterial medicine. So people, keep your hearts nice and strong, all right, people? You keep your hearts nice and strong, and you too can visit this amazing place. But good morning, everybody. Good morning, JF. But you are on a history tour right now at Central Park. Actually, it did hold off briefly, Carol 813. That was another reason why a lot of immigrants got the jobs, because they weren't going out to war. But very briefly, it actually slowed down progress. The park probably would have been open probably in 1856, the first section of it anyway. So, but it was 1858, the first section of the park opened. And then it did slow down progress. That's why the full park wasn't realized until 1872. Melissa Banks, I'm glad you're enjoying. Good to see you. But yeah, Civil War kind of slowed down stuff. And it was a big deal. You know, when Central Park was built, you know, the city was in a financial crisis. So like, why are we building this park? And mind you, the only people who were able to get up this far north easily were the wealthy people. The first 10 years Central Park is opened, nearly 80% of all park users were the top 5% earners in New York City. So it's kind of crazy. But then in the 1890s, early 1900s, the park really begins to open up to more people. When the subway arrives up here, then everybody's able to get up here and enjoy it. But now we have these, we look down here at the end of Literary Walk, and we have these pavers. These pavers are of all notable people who donate here to the park. About 85% of the operating funds of Central Park come from the Central Park Conservancy. But I'm glad you're enjoying the walking tour there. And the investigator with a $20 super chat. The investigator, thank you so much, with a very generous $20 super chat. Thanks for joining today's $20 club. Much, much, much appreciated. With a big $20 super chat. We get to go bar free now for the rest of the stream. Thank you so much to all of the channel donators. We have hit our goal, and now you guys got to get a great tour. Now you got to get an even better tour now. But anyway, it costs around $84 million, $84 million to maintain Central Park. Over 300 horticulturists work on the park year-round, and they work through the Central Park Conservancy. And these are the people who really maintain the park. The city of New York pretty much only maintains the main drives of the park. So that's pretty much it. Yes, the Flushing Meadows Corona Park is larger than Central Park. Central Park is 843 acres. Flushing Meadows Corona Park is like 1,100 acres. Central Park is the 5th largest park in New York City. But I appreciate that, investigator. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But yeah, for like $3,000, you could get a paving stone here and put your name here in the park here at the southern end of the mall here. And the mall is perfectly aligned with the north-south axis here. So we're walking exactly due north here. When Central Park opens up, they had an official opening ceremony in I think it was May or June of 1858. There were a lot of dignitaries here. Of course, the governor of New York was here, and they had a march. They had marching bands and stuff like that. And they basically came in from where we started our walk at Grand Army Plaza. They came down this pathway, through the Marble Arch, and then right up the mall here. So it's pretty nice. Link, I don't know the exact size of Riverside Park, and I don't know the rank of it exactly off the top of my head, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. I'm in my Central Park mode right now. Omar, good to see you, Omar. But we begin our walk north along the mall, flanked by two notable Scottish authors. We have Sir Walter Scott to our right-hand side, but then to our left-hand side we have Robert Burns. There's even a holiday for Robert Burns out in Scotland called Robbie Burns Day. But you may not have heard of him, but bloody hell.
Lunch fund. Smiley face emoji.
Hells yeah with the lunch fund. And Blue Max with a $20 super chat. Blue Max, thank you so much for the very generous $20 super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's $20 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $20 super chat. But here's Robert Burns right here. You may not have heard of him, but you may have heard a song that he wrote. To all the acquaintance be forgot. That's his song. Robbie Burns right there. Oh, they repaved the mall finally. But now we're going into the park. And thank you so much, Blue Max. That's very kind of you. But now all the artists are setting up. It should be a nice day today in the park to sell some art. Oh, there we go.
Wet shoe fund.
And Myrna Bergen with a $5 Canadian super chat. Myrna Bergen, thank you so much with a very generous $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's $5 Canadian club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $5 super chat. $5 Canadian super chat. Good to see you from Ayr in Scotland. Burns country. Hells yeah. Maggie. Good to see you, Maggie. Welcome to Central Park. Welcome to Central Park. Now, for many years, we had a lot of statues of famous men, even a famous dog, which we're going to see in a few moments. You know, we have What's he here? Fritz Green Halleck, right? Here he is. Here's Fritz Green Halleck. He was a notable man in politics here in New York City. Galtiero, good morning. And good to see you, Michael Franco. Wepa, Puerto Rico, bienvenidos. Michael Franco. But after over 150 years, we finally have a statue of famous women, and unveiled on the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 25th Amendment. Here is the Women's Rights Pioneers statue. Sojourner Truth, Susan B. Anthony, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton arguing over their articles of sentiments. I love this statue here. They're really debating here. They are really debating here. The Declaration of Sentiments. Now, do you want to see this statue come alive? Do you want to talk to this, or do you want to hear the statue talk? Scan the QR code for a fantastic presentation from this very statue. And this is, out of all the statues in New York City, or here in Central Park especially, this is officially my favorite one, because these women really did make this country great. But now we're going to go see the dog. We shall go see the dog now. So let's go see the dog. I'm going to show you my favorite dog here. And actually, no, let me see if I can find a picture for you guys. If you can't tell, I love talking about this place. I love Central Park, because to a certain extent, Central Park is the story of this country. Let me see if I can do this correctly. Oh!
Thanks for the excellent talk, Dutch, and for answering all my questions. And
Well,
for the detour by gaps to a bridge.
it was not a detour, because that was a request there, Carol813. You're a channel member. And Carol813 with a $10 super chat. Carol, thank you so much for the very generous $10 super chat. Thank you for joining today's $10 club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big $10 super chat. Let me see here. Let me see. I want to do... Hold on. Willowdale Arch. Central Park team. I'm going to try to show you guys. Here it is. There's a picture. There's the picture I wanted to show you guys. All right, here we go, guys. Yes, Carol, you got it. We're going to go see Balto the sled dog right now. Megan Jones, thank you so much for sending me a treat for some jewels. Link, we'll talk about Seneca Village a little bit later when we get there, Link, okay? So slow down. And no debating. And the contribution to the women who are honored in the Women's Rights Pioneer statue is not up for debate. If you think it's up for debate, then you're probably a terrible person. So anyway, Megan, come on out to Central Park. One of my favorite places in this city. I feel the same way, dude. I feel the same way. It's all hot and muggy out here. All right, guys, so here at the Willowdale Arch now. When Central Park was coming together, all the creators of the park took a picture. Are you guys ready to recreate this picture? Guys, let's go to the grand old year of 1862. You guys ready for this? This is a real picture here. Come on, connection. Let's get the connection good here. I want to make sure we're good here. There we go. Okay, you guys ready for this? Check it out, guys. Check it out. That's right here. That is right here. How crazy is that? So that up in that picture is Frederick Lahr Olmsted and Calvert Vaux and all the other major or main engineers and architects of the park. Right there. So there you go. Oh, they filmed a lot of Law and Order here, Lily. They filmed a lot of Law and Order right here. How cool is that? And that picture was taken from that angle. That was 1862. But now we kind of come modern times, 1925. In the winter of 1925, there was a 32-dog sled team that delivered the antidote to diphtheria to the children of Nome, Alaska. And the final dog in that 32 sled dog team is immortalized right here. His name is Balto. Balto the sled dog. To the indomitable spirit of the sled dog, they created the statue about 10 months after he saved those children's lives. And Balto was here for the unveiling of the statue. You can see the film right here on YouTube. He was right here to this side of Balto. And he is here forever. This is probably my second favorite statue now in Central Park. But right here. How great is that? He went across 2 mountain ranges and two blizzards. It's like took a while, but he was the dog that got all the accolades, if you will. A lovely statue. So yeah, Lily, I just showed a couple of Home Alone filming locations. Over 325 different movies, TV shows, even video games use Central Park. Central Park is no doubt one of the most photographed places on Earth, because this new thing called a camera was invented right around the time Central Park was coming together. So photography was in mind when they were designing the park. NYC Blue was filmed here. A lot of things were filmed here. If a TV show took place in New York, they most likely filmed a little bit of it here in Central Park. But good to see you, John Eucas. Forever blessed. Welcome on in. Good morning, everybody, people. So now let's get back to the, let's get back to the mall. Let's get back to the mall. Now the mall's width is created in a way so that couples could easily walk back and forth past each other, showing off their wealth. And then where they parked their carriages was actually right next door. There's another pathway where you used to park your carriage. And the width of that pathway is designed in a way so that you could turn around your carriage. A lot of people like to misspeak and say that the carriages used to come up and down this pathway. They never came up and down this pathway. It was actually the pathway just to the west of us. But good to see you, Sarah C. Welcome on in. Now let me count the lights here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There it is. Okay. I'm going to show you another one of my favorite benches since we're here. Lily, I have one of my favorite moments during the pandemic is coming up. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Let's see if we could find the bench. Another one of my favorite benches coming up. No, almost. I think it's the next row. It's the next row. Good to see you there, Billy D. Welcome on in. That's right, viewfinder. Here it is. Here's the Jim Henson bench. He used to love his walks here in the park. There it is, people. I love this walk in the park too, Jim. So there you go. You saw 2 historic benches now. You saw the Tony Bennett bench, and you saw the Jim Henson bench. Yeah, thank you so much for pointing that out to me, viewfinder. I appreciate that. But anyway, this is one of the largest groves of great American elm trees outside of Washington, D.C. There's roughly 400 great American elm trees in this grove. And you can find around around 1,000 or 3,000 elm trees all across the park. What do I recommend for off topic? Side quest. What do I recommend for a bad sunburn? Coconut oil? I don't know. I don't get sunburns. Is that William? I think I hear William. I do hear William. William is playing his saxophone. I got to give him a couple of dollars because he's one of my favorite. He is one of my favorite performers here in the park. You know why? Because he just riffs. He doesn't really play music. He riffs, and he's here in the middle of winter. So a big shout out to all the musicians who are here in the winter. But let me grab a couple of bucks for William. He just riffs all day, and I freaking love it. He don't even play, he just riffs. When you do what you love for a living, you don't work a day in your life. You know what I mean, people? All right, got a couple of bucks here for William. He's one of my favorite musicians here in the park. I see him year round. Yeah, I don't know where that is either, Jay. I was looking that up a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know where. Yeah, aloe vera is good for her. Rainbow in Connecticut. Nice. Okay, let's listen to William. Give him a tip. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I could literally listen to that all day long. So now we're in the northern part of the mall, and one of my most hopeful moments of the pandemic happened right here. This is the Namberg Manshell right here. And during the height of COVID in May 2020, the New York City Philharmonic did a spontaneous concert right here. They were getting ready for a big show when COVID hit and shut everything down. And on a beautiful afternoon, they came here and did a full concert to whoever was here in the park. And I remember seeing this in the news. It made me cry. Even talking about it kind of makes me cry. But right there, this was built in 1923. Then the Rumsfield playground is just behind that, and that's Summer Stage right there. That's where we have Summer Stage. Yeah, the real deal. Ralph Williams is the real deal, people. And then also some very famous people did perform here in the 60s, like the Jefferson Airplane, Jimi Hendrix, a very young and unknown, oh my God, why am I blinking out his name? Oh my God, what's his name? Come on, guys. Hey, that guy. Why am I blinking out his name for right now? I'm gonna drive myself crazy if I don't know him. Making you cry, Cynthia? Nice. Memories, it's always good. Bob Dylan, a very young and unknown Bob Dylan performed right here as well. That's right, April. That is correct. But now they're beginning to redo the whole landscape here, so there's going to be quite a bit of construction going down the next few months. So if you visit Central Park in the upcoming months, be ready for it. Yeah, Bob Dylan, guys, Bob Dylan. Not Randy Newman, Bob Dylan, Bob Dylan. Randy Newman's Los Angeles, not New York. Anyway, good morning, Reginald. Welcome on in. Yeah, the musical number from Godspell was here. There's one of my favorite scenes in the movie Hair was filmed right here. There's so many great films that were filmed right here. Link, I'm trying to remember it, Link. Thank you so much for the criticisms there. I appreciate you. Anyway, welcome to Bethesda Terrace and the Angel of the Waters fountain. This whole landscape here was, oh my God, this whole landscape here was designed by Jacob Ray Mould in the 1870s. Like 1871 it was completed. And this whole landscape here pays honor to the 4 seasons of the month. Of the year, sorry, not the month of the year. Well, sometimes it's 4 seasons in a month as well. But anyway, we do this in 2 parts, so we see it from the terrace, and then we walk through the arcade. So let's do it. Oh yeah, they got a lot of construction going on here. It is not a pretty view from here right now. Bagels and Walks is across the way. Good to see you, Sean. Everyone follow Bagels and Walks. Fantastic content creator, live streamer from the Upper East Side, right over there. Takes beautiful pictures almost daily here in Central Park. So follow Bagels and Walks here on YouTube and on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Everyone check out Sean, Bagels and Walks. I hope Baby Bagel and Mrs. Bagel are doing well, Sean. Good to see ya. So they got that restoration of the fountain well underway. This fountain here is the first public commissioned work of art for the city of New York, designed by a woman. Her name was Emma Stubbins. And this fountain was built to celebrate the opening of the Croton Aqueduct system, the first freshwater system for New York City. The fountain references the Gospel of John, hand outstretched, blessing the waters of Bethesda. But we zoom in on her. When she was first unveiled, she wasn't very popular. She was actually quite controversial because she's showing a bit too much leg there. And she's an ordinary angel. She's not very grandiose. So some people in the New York news media scene had the nerve to call her the milkmaid. Extra points if you know the chirps names underneath. You got a shot of You got a shot of me, Sean? Awesome. Hey, Sean, is that you? Wait, I'm looking at Sean. Sean's in the shot. I just realized Sean is in the shot. Yay! I'm gonna zoom in even more now. Look, there's Bagels and Walks, everybody. Oh, this is like Inception here. I love this. There he is! Yay! There's Sean! Ah! Wait, I gotta get the shot nice. There he is! Yay! I love it. See, Olmsted and Fox would be proud. We're using the park as the way it was intended, to become one with nature, to look at other people. People are the entertainment. Sean, I love this, Sean. Yay! I love it. Good to see you. Oh, I'm so excited. Good to see you, Sean. That means that Sean's going to be uploading some amazing pictures. So everyone, you got to follow Bagels and Walks. You got to follow him. You got to follow him. That's freaking amazing, Sean. Sean, enjoy the park, my friend. Enjoy the park. Yay! I love Central Park. I love New York. The heart of the park, everybody. Of course we see Sean right here in the heart of the park. I love it. So right here, this is almost the very center of Manhattan Island. Manhattan Island is about 11.5 miles long or tall from north to south, and this is almost at the halfway point. This is the arcade window for the Bethesda Arcade, which is beneath us, that we're going to walk through in a few moments. This is not the widest part of Manhattan, though. That goes to 14th Street. But remember that in one of the Avengers movies, Loki teleports from right here in the Avengers. No storms in the vicinity, Melissa, but I am soaked already. I am nice and wet from walking around. That air conditioning when I go hop on the subway is going to feel really cold. All right. Now it's time to look. Now it's time to enjoy the seasons, everybody. We shall celebrate. Yeah, Joe, he's a great follow. You won't be disappointed with Sean. Bagels and walks, people. All right, so now it's time to celebrate the seasons of the year. So here at the top of the stairs, we have 2 seasons, and then at the bottom of the stairs, we have 2 other seasons of the year. So the sheep's meadow is right across there, and we're gonna see that later on. But we first see our first pillar here. This is the season that we're going into next, ladies and gentlemen. This is autumn right here. Now we know this is autumn because we have the witch with the jack-o'-lantern. So we got the witch with the jack-o'-lantern. We have the owl signifying kind of like nighttime. We're losing the light. And of course, what do you do in autumn? You go back to school. So you got your school book here underneath your little lamp for light. And then we cut across here to the other side. And now this is spring. Spring, you have your spring harvest right there. You have the rooster because you're getting more sunlight in springtime. And then on this side here, you have the sun right there, people. Right there. So this is springtime. So autumn and spring at the top of the stairs, and now we descend down into the arcade. The arcade features over, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name, 150,000 tiles, 120,000 tiles. This is the only installation of Milton tiles in the world vaulted onto a ceiling. You could find Milton tiles in little places like the White House and the US Capitol, but these were all hand painted out in the United Kingdom, and then they were all placed up here. And then when they redid this whole landscape in 2007, they actually recreated a lot of those tiles in the same way they made them. But here it is, everybody. Bethesda Arcade. Take it in. And then we come, he's playing an accordion, that's pretty cool. And we come out to the Angel of the Waters fountain, and oh, there he is. Look at this, look at that lens, people. That lens is worth as much as like, oh yay! Oh shit, Sean. What the fuck, dude? Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Thank you so much. Good to see you, man.
Can we sit somewhere? I gotta change my bag.
Yeah, come on, let's change
some pictures.
Come on, let's do it.
I've been here all morning.
Even with the humidity out here and the humidity?
The other day I came to the park. You remember the really humid day?
Yes, they're beginning to blend.
It took my camera like 40 minutes to warm up. It was just all fog.
My glasses are fogging up periodically,
I
so.
thought that would happen today.
Yeah.
It turned out okay. I just gotta change the battery.
Yeah. Everyone, you gotta follow Sean. Gotta follow Bagel and Walks.
Yeah.
See, this is the magic of New York City, people. It's like a little town.
Did you see my story from the other night?
No, wait, no.
So it's
you have controversy?
No.
Good.
It was my wife's birthday at the end of July. And it's mine at the end of August. And so we went to the boathouse for dinner.
Nice.
And then through Lisa, she got tickets to Winter's Tale, so we got to see the Winter's Tale.
Let's go. Nice.
Let me make sure I turn this off.
Look at that. How much does that lens weigh?
It's a lot.
That thing is heavy.
Let's do that.
Now all we need now is an American bald eagle to come flying in here now.
You know, I have shots from past years where like the hawks come
Yeah.
down. They do come here every now and then.
Every now and then.
But I'll show you.
I mean, they're in Coney Island now, so it's like they got to get down here soon. Come on.
I'll show you some shots though, so you can see what's been in the park today.
Look at this, people. You got to follow him on Instagram, guys.
Get the sneak preview.
Yeah. We're getting the exclusive here. Look at that thing. It's like an instrument.
Okay. So if you walk to the other side, if we walk around to the other side of the lake, there's a great blue heron. That was right now. That was the last thing I shot. So it's facing the wrong way, but This is literally like right. It's on this side, but you have to go to the other side to
Right.
see it. So that's there right now. And then I cut this guy.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's he go to Dutch Moz, everybody.
There's the
Not too many
wave.
of those. Yay!
And
Oh, I
then
love it.
I did get it with.
Oh, so cool.
That's cool, huh?
I freaking love it.
It's the joy of having a gigantic lens.
You're about to say.
Okay, so hold on. So let me go to the beginning today. So, what brought me to the park? Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to that in a sec. I know. We'll get back to that in a sec. So what brought me to the park is for the last few days there's been a green heron, which I love to see them. They're super colorful. They have these bright yellow eyes.
Ooh, look at that. Yo.
And so it's tiny. It's relatively tiny, and it hides in the leaves. So
That's tough to catch. Wow.
Hold on, I did get some cool. Let's see if I can find it. I'll get back to that in a second. Okay, hold on. Should be probably around here. Wings. That's kind of cool. It's wings coming out. The colors on them are crazy.
Ooh.
So you'll see some of that later. And then at some point it flew. Well, I'll find it later. I take a million pictures and then. Okay, so what happened this morning though is I said, "What's that dog doing over there?" It's not a dog. It's one of the Central Park coyotes.
Wow. That's either Romeo or Juliet.
Yeah. So the
people.
thing is, I'm a little concerned. I've never seen one for as long as I saw
Yeah.
them today.
Yeah.
So I got to the park at like 8:45, and I heard howling, which I didn't process at first.
Right.
From like the Great Lawn. So I get to Turtle Pond, and I'm staring at the green heron, so I wasn't paying attention. But eventually, I noticed the dog/coyote. It was there for 30 minutes and howling.
Wow.
So I think it's looking for the other one.
Oh,
I know.
no.
So now I'm a little. I know.
No.
I've reached out to all the people who know all the things.
Yeah.
They're gonna look into it.
Okay. Oh
So I'm
no.
somewhat cautiously.
Yeah.
'Cause if I see them for a split second. They
I
run
right.
off
They disappear. Yeah. They're very elusive.
immediately. It was there for 30 minutes.
Wow.
Fully profile. In the
Yeah.
open.
You
I've never seen that before.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not like a coyote-ologist.
Right.
By any means.
Right.
So I'm waiting. I'm hoping they'll. I don't want to hear anything bad about it.
I know. Look at that, people. Wow.
I'm trying to find one of the flight shots really quick to share better, more positive.
So is that an A71 or A79?
This is a A1.
A1. A good steak sauce as well. So
Very fancy camera.
a very fancy camera. Good to see it, everybody. Let's see. I missed. Who is there? Florida Cat. Welcome, Florida Cat. Welcome on in, everybody.
Take a
Holla. Good to see you.
ridiculous number of pictures.
That's how you do it, though. You got to take all the photos, people. This is how it works.
Trying to find just one wing shot. Again. I was here.
Now you heard about the study about people who do bird watching, right?
What'd they say?
You live longer.
Oh, well,
So he's gonna live 1,000 years, people.
we're getting our
Sean is-
exercise.
That's right.
We're being very present.
That's right. But also it forces you to really concentrate and kind of meditate in a certain way. So when you're capturing,
You do have to be very. I mean, I was with this guy for 2 hours this morning.
Wow.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
look at this. Wow. This is so cool.
So
Wow.
that's like the burst. So it's a whole bunch of shots. So it's going from.
Holy
That's
cow.
why you get the fancy camera. For it.
Yeah. Look at that,
So you
people.
get all of the shots.
Wow. Yeah, burst is your friend, especially on the Sony. Coney Island, Jim says.
That's what we're doing today.
That's right. Perfectly candid said it perfectly that between the equipment and Sean's eye, it's flawless. I agree.
So I'm waiting to hear. I'm hopeful I'll hear something about the coyotes. That's not bad news.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
but that was
I'm
a little weird.
Oh no.
But there was a gentleman I was with. He saw, and I'm just. One's bigger, one's smaller. That's how you tell which one's the I couldn't tell. But anyways, the guy saw it
Yeah.
swim across from the north side of Turtle Pond to where I saw it on the
Wow.
south side. Then it stood there for a long time, kind of it was just so slow.
Yeah.
You know, when I see them, they're
They're fast.
active, super
Yeah.
fast. So I don't know, man.
Oh
Hoping for the best.
man, let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope
Hopefully,
that the
they just got
coyotes
separated.
Right.
Eventually they'll
Yeah.
get back together.
Oh
I
man.
don't need any of that today.
Yeah, no, we're gonna see all of his photos on the 10 o'clock news tonight.
Yeah.
We'll showcase Sean's camera and his photos, beautiful photos, on tonight's 10 o'clock show. If I don't fall asleep, which I shouldn't tonight.
There was
Look at this, even more. Like a treasure trove here. I love
wedding
this.
going on.
Shout out to the walking commuter. He was having bit rate issues. Somebody just reported.
Yeah, I was. He took the ferry out to the Rockaways. He's walking from the Rockaways back.
Yeah. No, Rockaways is like the worst. We rode the bike through the Rockaways yesterday, and we dropped signal completely at Fort Tilden, which is normal.
This was a few minutes ago.
Oh, look at that! Wow.
Black and white warbler with a little worm or something. Isn't that fun?
It is fun. You're capturing history. You know that, right? There's so many people come here. Good to see you, Desi Des.
I got some shots of the cardinals, and I'm trying to think who's the
Ah.
other one. The cardinals and maybe it's the robins. They eat the spotted lanternflies.
Good.
So I'm trying to get shots of
Yeah. See, even the bird is curious of you. See, this little guy over here is curious. He's just hanging out with us over here.
So does this do pass-through charge?
Yes. Thank
Which one
God.
is
This is the M2.
Okay, I gotta look that up.
The M2.
Okay.
And actually, I have another mic in it. I never use.
And it keeps you all charged up.
Yeah.
It really works?
Yeah, really works.
That's awesome.
But I gotta say though, when it gets really hot, I think something's expanding or contracting.
Okay.
So sometimes it disconnects.
Yeah, you gotta put it back.
So you gotta make sure.
Okay.
But these are great. I love them.
This is miserable.
Yes, I know. How long is this due for now? Like 2 years?
They claim 2027.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
It takes as long to fix a fountain as it took to build the Empire State.
Right? Have you heard about the footbridge in Brooklyn? It's taken 5 years. They built the Verizon in 5 years. Well, Sean, this was a treat, Sean.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back into the ramble for a little bit.
All right.
Go take care of the fam.
Sean.
It's always a pleasure. I'm
Pleasure.
glad I got to swing
Yeah. Thank you so much. Everyone follow Sean at Bagels and Walks.
by. Enjoy the rest of the tour.
Bye, Sean. I love it. Oh my, I'm literally a little emotional now, guys. I'm a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little emotional. All right, let's continue on. They gotta redo the space here. The space hasn't been updated in 20 years, so, or 19 years. So, but now we are off. Time to go see the Loeb Boathouse, which is coming up next. We shall go see the Loeb Boathouse. But now, Central Park is one of the first places in the world to use forced perspective. And this is one of the greatest examples of forced perspective in the whole park. We turn our gaze to our left and we look right down the lake. No special name, just called the lake. And there are the twin towers of the San Remo apartments. Steven Spielberg. And there's a comedian guy that I can't remember his name of. They have apartments in there, as well as Bruce Willis and Demi Moore used to live in there when they were married back in the day. Sean, you could crash my stream anytime. You know that.
I'll coordinate with
Your family, Sean. Sean, your family. Remember that. Next time you're down in Coney, you better let me know. I throw you and the missus on a ride, or maybe all of us will ride the Wonder Wheel. But good to see you, Dave. Look, they got the sign here. They got this sign here. Summer 2027. I don't believe that, but I hope we could get this thing all restored. But up to our left-hand side is the Loeb Boathouse. You know you can rent a boat for just 20 bucks an hour? Split that between 4 people, that's $5. Loeb Boathouse, a restaurant now. It's a restaurant again. It was closed for a couple of years, but now it's back. Heard breakfast is just as good. Good to see a crazy cat lady. Crazy cat lady, you might be a little bit behind in the chat. We were talking about that a long time ago. But good to see a crazy cat lady. We're now going to walk underneath the tray foil arch And I'm going to go see some more of my favorite statues here in the park. These stairs are very uneven, so take your time if you're walking down these stairs. Oh, you forgot to hit enter. Okay. Welcome on into the show, Crazy Cat Lady. Ooh, these are all off kilter. We walk through the arch, underneath the drive. Oh, it's all good, Crazy Cat Lady. Hopefully the live stream's a bit of a distraction. A little bit of entertainment while you watch your nephew. And now we're gonna do a little left and a right. Oh, it's so peaceful in here. The humidity is crazy, but you know, I don't care. I don't care. And actually, this pathway we're walking down right here, they used this in an episode of Blue Bloods. And happy birthday to the man who was in the shot, Donnie Wahlberg. It's Donnie Wahlberg's birthday today, and he came running down this pathway right towards us in an episode of Blue Bloods. I think he was chasing somebody down, if I'm not mistaken. But happy birthday to Donnie Wahlberg, who filmed something right here where we're walking. We're now going to hang the left. Yep, trefoil, classic Girl Scout cookie. I know, it doesn't matter at this point. Perfectly candid. I'm completely drenched. I don't care now. I'm having fun. So here he is. Here's my friend Hans. Hans Christian Andersen. He's reading The Ugly Duckling to the little duck right down here. Me. Now, if you want to get good luck, you rub Hans on the nose and you pat the duck 3 times on the head. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. And then look at this. The conservatory waters, also known as the model boat pond, in full glory here with the boats. Actually, let's maybe we should walk around this. Let's walk around this. Isn't it amazing how fast time flies when you're doing the stream? Especially with this kind of stream where we're enjoying the park. He does got the right stuff. Absolutely. Let's see if we get closer to those boats. Now this was used in the movie Stuart Little 2, but they didn't actually film here. They actually recreated this. And on this side of the conservatory water, they had like an arch in the movie, and then the model boat speedboat chase scene, they went through the arch and they ended up in the lake, which, as you can see, is not doable. You saw the go-go's at the Rumsey Playfield? Nice. Yeah, you just dance like a maniac. That's right. That's all you do. Let's see if we can see those boats up close. It is peaceful. This hour it's peaceful in the park. It's a lovely spot to convene with nature. Now see, usually when I have guests on a walking tour, the walking tour is 2 hours. So we're approaching hour and 45 minutes right now. We still got a lot more to see. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Still have a lot more to see here in the park. You could imagine yourself piloting or navigating your yacht here in Central Park. Oh, this is a cool little shot here. I love this. Look at this little duck. Good to see you there, Michael Franco. Wepa, Puerto Rico. Bienvenidos. How cool are these things? Look at a little duck.
That's what you get.
Look at how cute. Nah, it was my fault. I should have been watching. Let's see, you could imagine. Here, so look at the ducks hanging out. Looks like they did something to the water here. The water's like extra blue. This is all filled up with New York City tap water. Look at these flowers. Yes. Yes. Savannah, good to see you, Savannah. Neil's watching from work. Good to see you, Neil. How cool is this? Exactly perfectly candid. How cool is that? Go piloting your little boat around. Looks like so much fun. I like when the little ducks get up close to the boat. Like he's like swimming next to it. So over there we have Hans Christian Andersen. But now as we come across here, we have another one of my favorite statues. And I did read up on this. They did design this statue for children to climb. Even though I don't recommend children climb on this statue. But holding court, as she always does, here at around 75th Street and 5th Avenue, Alice in Wonderland is coming up next. Good to see you, Ken. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this statue was created in 1955 by Jose de Kreeft as a memorial to Margarita Delacorte. George Delacorte, the founder of Dell Publishing, he was the one who had the statue commissioned, and he's also the one who was able to give us the Shakespeare in the park here, the theater, the Delacorte Theater, in 1961 as well. This is a gift to the children of New York. She loved all the children. Good to see you there, Land Rover. And George Delacorte does play a role in this statue. He is the Mad Hatter. Good to see you, George. I love this statue. And then as we make our way around, we have little quotes here. Pretty neat. Yeah, this one's for the children. Jay Strolls, are you literally quoting New Kids on the Block? The Duchess would love that. All right. From Alice in Wonderland, we're now going to head up to one of the oldest, if not the oldest, objects in any New York City park. Let's head on up. It is certainly a chill day, or chill last few minutes of our morning here in Central Park. I can only imagine stumbling out of your house and being here. You know, I got to experience that for a weekend once, and it was magical. Watching on your brand new secondhand iPhone 13, KJ2, welcome on in. Chris MG Vlogs, good to see you, Chris. Everyone follow Chris MG Vlogs, fantastic content creator from Grenada, showing you all the beautiful scenes out there. Everyone check out Chris MG Vlogs. Good to see ya. As we meander around Central Park. Central Park is magic. It really is. Yeah, we still have many more landscapes to see. I think earlier in the show we had a request for Seneca Village. So we will go see Seneca Village as well. Sweet Cheetah, it's a good song to get stuck in your head. You like your pixel more? Yes. Yeah, dude. We had 2 New Kids on the Block references on today's show so far. Yeah, you get used to it, right? Here's the Glade Arch. You know, the fact that Walking Commuter had problems with his bitrate today means that there is no real perfect way to live stream. There's no perfect, foolproof way to live stream. You're always at the mercy of cell phone networks. Break out your lighters, people. This was for the children. The children of the world. This was for the children. So as we move north of 75th Street, the park gets pretty quiet. The park gets pretty chill. It's true. You're not a true nigger. I've never climbed Alice in Wonderland, but I've climbed other statues. I've definitely climbed other statues. Ooh. I'm schwitzing. I'm so happy I have a lot of paper towels on me. When I hop on that subway train to go home, I'm going to be cold, but I don't care. Well, here, you know, it's so dark over here because of the shade and the clouds and everything that, yeah. And the streetlights here are on. Makes for a cool sight, though. It's coming up on 12 noon. Let's look for the car that nobody's. Are we climbing cars? Are we having a takeover? Are we having one of those takeovers? The only building that's officially inside Central Park is right here in front of us. This is the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The Met. You have over 30,000 pieces of art in that building, spanning from ancient Egyptian art all the way up to a Jackson Pollock or an Andy Warhol. They could all be found there. Just buy a new shirt. I'm not buying a new shirt. I'm just going to suffer in my wet shirt. and go home on the train. It'll be fine. Yeah, I'll try to find the car with no AC. What a lovely walk we're having through the park here. Oh, preparing for the Tang Wing. Look at this. They're doing a new addition here to the Met. Target opening date 2030. Wow, that's exciting. This was kind of like an unused part of the park right here. It was just like a field that abutted up against the museum. He does have a great video on the Met. That's why everybody has to check out Bagels and Walks if you haven't already. He does great pre-records. So, yes indeed, everyone check out Sean, Bagels and Walks. And the Bagels and Walks family of channels on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to walk through this arch. The Gray Wake Arch we're passing underneath now. It does cost a lot of money to maintain the park, Ken. It costs around $84 million to maintain the park, but about the outcome comes from the Central Park Conservancy. Yuma Girl, thank you so much for sending me some jewels. An uncle alert. Jose Torres, way pa Puerto Rico, bienvenidos. Jose Torres. In 1980, the park was in terrible condition. You know, even as early as the 1920s, 1930s, the city really couldn't maintain Central Park properly. But by 1980, the park was in a terrible spot. So, Central Park Conservancy comes together in 1980, and they begin turning this park into the current masterpiece that it is today. The oldest object in any New York City park is right here at the top of this hill. There is Cleopatra's Needle. It was brought over here in the 1880s. We actually thought at one point we lost it at sea. It used to originally stand at the entrance to the temple in Heliopolis. It's kind of brother obelisk. It's the same size, same dimensions. That's on the Thames River in London. And then the mother arch, which is like twice the size, twice the height, is on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Good morning from Tucson there, Yuma Girl. Okay, we're gonna go see another statue up here, and then we're gonna make our way across the Great Lawn here, because we're gonna talk about Seneca Village and the people who used to live in the confines of what is today Central Park. Like I said, you're going on a walking plus tour. So thank you to everybody who has left the super chats and the PayPals and the thumbs up on the video. Thank you so much to all for tipping your tour guide as we enjoy the squirrel. Little buddy. They're so used to people. They're so used to people. Now we're coming up onto the turtle pond. And I think some of you guys might be a little bit further back. I think some of you guys might be still at the conservatory water. The conservatory water is not that deep. It's only like a couple of feet deep. But now, hold your swords up high if you love Central Park. Here is the statue of King Jagiello of Poland. Now, why is there a statue of a Polish king here in Central Park? Well, this statue was commissioned for the 1939-1940 World's Fair out in Queens. And Poland ceased to exist in 1940 because Germany invaded Poland. So after the World's Fair, the statue was brought here to Central Park. And after World War II, the city of New York asked the government of Poland, you know, the statue was supposed to go back to Warsaw. They said, you guys want your statue back? And they said, nah, you guys can keep it. So we were able to keep the statue here. So one of my favorite statues here, these are all my favorites. I just love the expression on his face here. I just love that. That's always cool. King Jagiello of Poland. You're more than welcome, Perfectly Candid. Yeah, there's an obelisk here. There's an obelisk. And then right over here, this is the turtle pond. Now the turtle pond is the remnants of a receiving reservoir. There was a square body of water in this park here, which basically, as the water came down from upstate New York in the Croton Aqueduct system, it would come to this area right here. So the area where the Great Lawn is, just to the north of us, and to right here, this all would have been part of that. So Richard Dasher, yes, this is a live stream. But now let's walk around, because I'm going to talk to you about the people who used to live here. I'm going to talk about Seneca Village. Is this deep? This is not that deep. Maybe about, at most, 15 feet deep, Myrna. Not that deep. Richard wants me to say his name. I've seen Richard in other live streams pull nonsensical bullshit off. So, Richard, you're officially in the yellow zone. Viewers, I rate viewers from green, yellow, or red. And Richard Dasher is in the yellow column. I mean, there's a clock on the screen. You think that would maybe give it away that it's a live stream? But we live in a day and age where nobody pays attention anymore. A lot of people have what's called learned helplessness. So, anyway. But all this area in front of us was that receiving reservoir for the Croton Aqueduct system. And that was one of the first things to begin to whittle away at Seneca Village. So right now we're coming into the outskirts of Seneca Village. Richard Dasher, I've seen you behave certain ways in other people's live streams before, so I know where you're coming at, my friend. Welcome. Yeah, I'm in a mood. See, look at that. See, it seems like Link and Richard Dasher seem to be on the same page. I guess I'm in a mood today. Guys, you don't have to watch. If you're here just to piss me off, please just leave. I'm always in a mood. Anyway, this is the Great Lawn, and the Great Lawn is a engineered landscape. Pope John Paul II spoke to 500,000 people here. Diana Ross performed to over 1 million people right here. So many great memories. Simon and Garfunkel had their reunion right here, amongst many, many other people. Oh, I'm sorry, Link. I'm sorry, Link. I'm sorry I have an attitude, man. I'm sorry I have an attitude, guys. Off in a distance, you have the Belvedere Castle. And then right next door to it is the Delacorte Theater. In 1945, the founder of the Public Theater
Su nombre, José Liberato. Su destino, vender barato. Desde su liberatocóptero, don José observa.
Check my monitor. Bye 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 bye. See you soon there. Right? Are you with us? Hey. Okay, we are. Okay, we're back. Okay, we had a dropout. Anyway, Joseph Papp used to have performances here of Shakespeare here on the lawn. And in 1960, there was a guy named Robert Moses. He didn't like the fact that there was like upwards of like 1,000 people would show up to these performances. So for 1 year, Robert Moses has Shakespeare in the Park banned from Central Park. So what he jokingly said, what Robert Moses jokingly said was, well, if you get the money to build a theater, I will give you a place in Central Park to build a theater. And then George Delacourt of Dell Publishing came out here and he said, you know what, I'll give $15 million to build a little theater. And this is how you get your newly restored Delacourt Theater right here. How cool is that? And look at that, Sean and his wife, Mama and Papa Bagels. They got to enjoy a performance of A Winter's Tale here in the Delacourt Theater. How cool is this? But now, talking about that receiving reservoir, that was the beginning of the end for Seneca Village. So now we're going to talk about Seneca Village and go deeply, and a little bit deep into the history of Seneca Village. Now let's see, did they get rid of the signage? They did. They did get rid of the signage. So there used to be a sign right around here. They used to talk about the, let's go this way actually. They used to talk about the receiving reservoir that was here, that is obviously no longer here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the main area of the thing. Are we still here? People are going, uh-oh. Yeah, it's pretty cool, Gabby. I've seen that documentary. It's really cool. A lot of amazing things happened here in Central Park during COVID. Oh, Jen City. Good to see you, Jen. I'm enjoying the park tremendously, Jen. Everybody follow Jen City. Fantastic content creator, live streamer from Brooklyn. Everyone check out Jen City on her e-bike adventures around New York and beyond. Yeah, see, I just watched my monitor. We're back. We're good. We're good for now. But now, Seneca Village was probably the largest inhabited area here in what is today Central Park. Around 1,500 people lived in Seneca Village, and by all accounts, Seneca Village was a fully integrated community with a lot of newly arrived German and Irish immigrants who lived really far uptown. Oh yeah, Jay Strolls, he's not really here to see the place. He's here just to kind of pass judgment and to kind of throw off the chi, you know, like no need to get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna get there. You just have to be patient, you know. But now, why is Seneca Village built all the way up here? It's because we're on one of the highest glazes of land here on Manhattan Island. It's called Summit Rock. And basically you had the Bloomingdale Road, Broadway, that would come all the way up here. And if anybody wanted to come up here and kind of disrupt the town, they had a lot of warning. they could see all the way downtown. But good to see a plain view. Welcome on in. Now I'm wondering if they got rid of all of the illustrated signs for Seneca Village, because there was supposed to be one right by the Delacorte. There should be some more just up the pathway here. And if not, that means they might have taken them all out. I'm starting to wonder now that they take away all the signage for Seneca Village. But by 1825, I mean, this was a neighborhood. It had 2 churches, a school, a couple of taverns. It was a full-on neighborhood. Soho Joe. Good to see you, Soho Joe. Okay, we got some signage right up here. We will go to the center of Seneca Village as well. Yeah, no, they have it. You know what it was? These were supposed to be temporary, Jay. This signage here was supposed to only last, I think, like a summer, and then they made it permanent. Here we learn about the livelihoods of people who lived up here in Seneca Village. And you can see also the grid, the lot markers here, the lot map here, which is not that far from here. It's literally just right down the way there. We're going to go to a spot where there's an actual map. So, but here we learn about the livelihoods of the people who lived here. And we now are officially in Seneca Village. Scan the QR code for more information. But now we are officially in it. We're in the Pinetum. So Frederick Lahr Olmsted wanted a place here in Central Park that would always remain green, even in the middle of winter. So in this area of the park, just to the west of the Great Lawn, here we have a lot of pine trees and stuff. Here's our little Seneca Village self-guided walking tour map. So we came up from number 10 here, which talks about the receiving reservoir, and we made our way up the pathway. We're now here, we're here. Now we're going to continue on up. We'll go say hello to the reservoir, and then we'll make our way back down, and we'll go up and over Summit Rock, and then down to the kiosk here, which is like the heart of the town here. Like Seneca Village basically centered right in this area here. And then we'll continue on down. So let's do it. Let's do it. Here it is, the Arthur Ross Pinetum. So this area of the park always remains green throughout the year. And I think people who are here. Oh, I'm just walking around, Kim. I'm sorry, I'm breathing heavy. I'm microphoned up too, so good to see you, man. I'm a little out of shape. Here we learn the geology of the area here. You can see all that schist with the dirt on top. And then here's that Croton receiving reservoir that used to be here where the Great Lawn is today. We're kind of like walking up along the side here. But the geology of this area is still visible throughout this section of the park. It was a daily part of the lives of people of Seneca Village. Descriptions of the village in the 1850s noticed numerous outcroppings of Manhattan schist, formed nearly 500 million years ago, including the most massive outcropping, Summit Rock, and that's where we're going to go to in a little bit. Yeah, I was walking up a hill there, so sorry that I'm breathing heavy, guys. Welcome on in, Priest OFS. Good to see you out there in the Netherlands. Go Team Orange. April, I want to give them what they want. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let them have it. So they want to hear me say that I'm out of shape and everything. They want to, what's the proper verbiage of that? They want to imply that I'm out of shape. I'll just let them have it. Yes, I'm breathing heavy and I'm out of shape. Here's another. The keepers of the reservoir. In 1842, the city completed a construction of one of the most consequential public works projects, the Croton Aqueduct System, which supplied the city of New York with fresh drinking water from upstate New York. This system included a large receiving reservoir directly adjacent to the community of Seneca Village. So you have the receiving reservoir here. This was built in the receiving reservoir was built in like 1811, 1812. And here in 1865, as construction has already begun in the park is beginning to be built north. Seneca Village, which is right here, this is still here. So you have the receiving reservoir, which basically took out half of the village, and you still have these people left. But basically, the water came from upstate New York via gravity and made its way all the way down. Ignore, welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying the info there. And Plainview 75, welcome. What happened to the guy who wanted to hear about Seneca Village? Now is your time to ask me random questions about Seneca Village. What do you know about it? The humidity, Akim, is very oppressive. I'm completely drenched in sweat, but I'm having fun. Hanging out with all of you guys. Good to see I Love the 80s. Welcome on in. I'm doing all right, Viewfinder. I'm doing okay. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Ronnie. You know, as predicted, for the most part, we have a really good connection because it's like the morning, or now late, I guess early afternoon. Is that the correct verbiage? So here's some very notable people who own property here in Seneca Village, like Peter Guignon, who worked various jobs, including a hairdresser. And in 1858, he moved to Brooklyn, where he worked at a pharmacy. He was also a member of the Philomathic Society and the Literary Society for African Americans that established a library and organized lectures and discussion groups there. And then we have a couple here, Albro Lyons and Mary Joseph Marshall here. Here's a picture of them around 1860, a rare photo of African Americans connected to Seneca Village. Albro was a noted abolitionist, and he operated a boarding house for African American sailors on Pearl Street in Lower Manhattan. But these people were like, considering the world that was in the 1840s, 50s, 60s, these were very wealthy people. They owned enough land where they could vote. So, in all honesty, the removal of Seneca Village literally did remove a voting block. And those were free. This was the largest, or one of the largest, free African American communities in the United States. It's pretty cool. But now what really took out Seneca Village is the main reservoir, today called the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Reservoir. So that water came from upstate New York via the Croton Aqueduct System. It came down, and then it filled up what is this body of water right here. This body of water was completed in 1811. Now today, this does not serve New York City with fresh drinking water. This basically only supplies the park with all of its water features. But if we had to employ this to serve Manhattan Island with fresh drinking water, it can. It's still connected to the system. But mathematicians and scientists say that and guesstimate that this body of water will sustain Manhattan Island for about 6 hours, around, give or take. But good to see you, Miles. I'm glad you're enjoying our little tour here. But this was the beginning of the end for Seneca Village. When this was completed in 1811, this really began to kind of knock away at that community. I see a water fountain. I'll take a swig of water for you. Perfectly candid. I'll take a swig of water just for you. Let's do it. Let's drink some Central Park water here. Let's have a quick drink. A quick one. Because we're losing so much water. Yay! Oh, that was good. The water is fresh. I mean, it's quote an aqueduct system water. There's a big reservoir to the north of the city. And that's very fresh water. You're more than welcome, and thanks for subscribing or following. Oh, you woke up singing Avenue Boy. All right, let's go up to Summit Rock. Let's go up to Summit Rock, people. Time to climb to Summit Rock. And then we're going to go to Seneca Village proper. That little splash of water was good. See, what happened to the people that were yapping? What happened to you guys? You guys want to see Seneca Village? We're now in Seneca Village and they're nowhere to be found. What happened? As Chicken, the little blue parrot says, what happened? God bless the Croton aqueduct system. Exactly. So now we're walking in the middle of what would be Seneca Village. Now, what's a great thing about Seneca Village was that when people started doing some real serious research on it about 20 years ago, they first did an archaeological dig, by the way, and they literally found nothing left of Seneca Village. It was completely taken out. But what they did find was little pieces of pottery and stuff like that, little reminiscences of the people who used to live here. But now, as they looked at census records and various notations and journals and diaries, they noticed that the people who lived here in Seneca Village, it was very much an integrated community. People went to each other's weddings and funerals, and they all went to school together. So it was a very, very solid community. Now, actually, we might not be able to go up to Summit Rock because the pathway might be closed. It's actually this way. Summit Rock is right over there. They might be doing construction at Summit Rock. We go up this way here. That's the El Dorado apartments are off in the distance over there. We have to go like over here, across the other traverse. I'm glad you're watching me on your TV. Thank you for that. Let's head up and over. Now we still have a lot more to see in the park, guys, so if you're just joining us, welcome. Welcome to Central Park. Alright, so this pathway is closed. That's right, we gotta go up this pathway right here. Let's see if we could get over there. Hey, thanks for following me on Twitch. Appreciate it. Yeah, this area actually might be closed. There's a lot more to see, Lillian. We still haven't seen Strawberry Fields. And of course the Sheep's Meadow. And I think we will dip into Shakespeare Garden as well. See what Shakespeare Garden looks like this morning. Or this afternoon now. To think we've been here for 2 hours already. Started at 10 o'clock today. We're at 2.5 hours now. And normally, like a tour of this length, I would not be able to do with actual guests because it's just, for a lot of people, this is way too much walking. All right. They're doing a lot of construction here. Playground, the 85th Street Playground reconstruction. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. We have some more signage right here. I have water, Akem. So the AME Zion Church, that was mainly the main church that came up here. But the church would have been roughly in this area here. We have not seen a Delacorte clock today. That's by the zoo. That's by the zoo. Maybe when we head south, we'll go by Delacorte clock. And then the Union Church would have been right here. Yeah, this is the essential. That's why I titled this the Essential Park Experience, because this is an experience. So I don't think we were able to get to Summit Rock today because of the construction. We're gonna try to, but I don't think we can. The kiosk is right in front of us. So the kiosk here that we're about to see, this is roughly the heart. This is like the main part of Seneca Village. Like this will be the center of the village, roughly in this area right here. Probably, Jay. Probably. Actually, okay, I got my bearings now. We can do Summit Rock. Summit Rock is right up there. But now, this kiosk here shows the evolution of this area here. So now we're standing here we're standing right here at the kiosk. The reservoir is right here. We walked up this pathway to here, and now we're back here. We're gonna head up Summit Rock, and then we're gonna go down to Tanner's Spring, which was like the fresh water source. Here's an illustration from 1851 looking at the area here. So the city only comes up to about here. It's pretty still really far south in 1851. I think around 42nd Street. And then you keep on going uptown, and Seneca Village is way up here. And then there's a receiving reservoir right here. You can see how the topography of the land too in this illustration is pretty wild. But go to centralparknyc.org/Seneca Village, and you could get a real nice rundown of what is happening around here. So now I love this map here because we're overlaying the different maps here. So you have Central Park here with the reservoir here, but then you also have the grid plan map with the lots that were sold, and you can see the buildings that were actually built here. Hey, thanks for following there. Appreciate you. And then here in 2011, they did the archaeological dig. They didn't find too much. Unfortunately, nothing was really left of Seneca Village. When the first idea for Central Park first was proposed, there was a kind of a smear campaign for the people that lived in this area. The Times had a story called The N-Word Village, or That N-Word Village, and basically just, basically saying these people squatted on the land. It was far from the truth. The people that were here. They owned their properties. They owned the land. They were African Americans. They could vote because they owned a certain amount of land. So these people were owners. They you know, but it's a shame. But using eminent domain, they cleared them all out to build Central Park. Good to see you, Michelle, out there in Oregon. Welcome on in. And then here we have a timeline of construction here. Actually, it starts from the top here, it goes down. And then here's another image of Seneca Village next to the receiving reservoir. But now what we're going to do is we're going to head up the Summit Rock right now. Central Park has changed. It's evolved throughout the years, without a doubt. Good to see you, Diana Lee. Welcome on in. The sun's coming out now. That humid sun is coming out. Here we have another house. The Wilson House was right about here, adjacent to the All Angels Church. And there's the archaeological dig that happened literally like right over, actually right up there by that tree. And then here's the All Angels Church. Here's what it looked like on the lot map. Built between an established Sunday school in the area between 1833 and 1849, right before the park was built. Again, park construction begins in like 1850 or 1855. They get the real work started up. Oh, they're really working on that playground in there. To the top of Summit Rock. Let's do it. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this was a integrated community. So this plaque here talks about the Irish residents that lived around here. Roughly 1/3 of the population in the 1850s was Irish. And again, this was like a integrated community. People went to each other's birthday parties and weddings and funerals, and in some cases some historians even kind of reference that maybe some of them even intermarried, which in the 1850s, that is a big deal. Yeah, right now there is a lot of construction going on in the park. If I sound out of breath, I'm walking up a hill. I'm walking up Summit Rock. So sorry if I sound out of breath. Just gotta apologize for everything I do now. So I know I'm gonna be crucified in those Discord servers tonight. I'm in a mood. Dave in Bangor, Maine. Good to see you, Dave. So this is Summit Rock. This is like the third highest natural glaze of land here in on Manhattan Island. So you would be able to look down the road, down the old Bloomingdale Road, and if anyone wanted to come up here and cause a problem, they had ample time to get ready and defend themselves. So that's how they did it. Okay, Lillian, thank you. And look, here's the sign. Here it is. Summit Rock. And you can see the outcropping of rock right here in these old maps. And then these little squares here are the buildings. Oh, hey Kim, I do the walking for you, man. And then here's when the park was originally built. It's supposed to be like a carriage area up here. See a concourse with resting place for carriage. And then here is a image. Now it does not depict this area in particular, but the area around this area kind of looked like this. But originally, as we look down 83rd Street here, we would have been able to look all the way down towards the Hudson River from here. So we're pretty high up. But now let's come down off of Summit Rock. Good to see you, Kaz. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well, Kaz Cat. I hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing great on this Monday afternoon or evening. Or is it Monday night where you're watching? Welcome. Leg Turbo. And Diana Lee with a 10-pound super chat. Diana Lee, thank you so much with a very generous 10-pound super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's 10-pound club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big 10-pound super chat. Turbo! Little Turbo there. Hey, Turbo, what's going on, Turbo? Let's call me Dutch Turbo today. Anyway. Okay, now we're making our way off Summit Rock. Oh, we have a bird watcher here. Anything good up there? Anything good? Oh, we might have like a hawk up there. We might have a hawk. I might have a hawk up in there. Yeah, we do. There's a hawk up there. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about the study that they did. Bird watchers tend to live, so it's a crazy survey. So, who lives longer? People who hunt, like game, or people who do bird watching? The bird watchers outlived the hunters by at least 5 years. Now, here we have another plaque here which talks about the lots, lanes, and streets. So these would be the grid streets with the lots sold within that grid plan. But then we have the original streets of Manhattan Island, which actually went with more of the topography of the land. And then here, this shows the various farms and the properties, like the farming communities and properties that were here in this area. And here they also talk about how each corner, each intersection had a monument. So the surveyors, John Randall Jr. and his team would come up here and they will survey the land. And then again, here in 2014, here's the survey. This one here is at 103rd Street and 6th Avenue right here. And then we continue on down here. Yeah, maybe the hunters get hunted, but yeah, it's stressful to a certain extent. Not as like bird watching, which is like, it's more communal, it's more relaxing. It's like a meditation. Here we talk about the various housing. Even though this is not Seneca Village, this photo kind of shows what it would have been like. Here's another photo of a house that would have been here adjacent to Central Park in the 1880s. The game hunters just tended to die earlier compared to bird watchers. And I think they also did brain scans on the people too. They agreed to brain scans, and like the bird watchers tended to be a little bit more relaxed. Oh, absolutely, perfectly candid. Absolutely. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, we're still coming off of Summit Rock right now. I'm glad you're loving the tour, Karen. Karen, I've been meaning to do a proper tour of the park for a while here, so we're doing like a Park Plus tour today. So we're doing what I would normally do on a walking tour, but then also showing you guys extra stuff that for most people who come on my tours, it'll be a little bit too much for them to do, because it's, you know, we're now pushing 3 hours. We're at 2 hours and 43 minutes. So now this is the one for Tanner's Spring, if I'm not mistaken. The spring would have been back over there. This was the source of drinking water for Seneca Village, which would have been right. So we're right about here. And then that receiving reservoir is right here. And then in this area, they found literally just Little pieces of nothing. A photograph shows the spring location of what it looked like in 1901. Published in a book documenting various natural springs that are still here in Central Park. And they are a lot. It's kind of hard to imagine, but they are amazing. It's kind of amazing. There's a lot of natural springs here still in the park, just underground. Good to see you there. Umlaug from Johannesburg, welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Joe. Again, I do this for the people who can't walk. I love doing these tours for the people who can't walk, you know, because I know that traversing all this land and these hills may be a bit much for y'all. So I do this for you. If you can't come to New York or you just can't walk for 3 hours, I do this for you guys. And for me, it's very much a meditation and it's a bit of a stress reliever for me as well, walking through this beautiful place. So the kiosk would have been right here, actually. There was another kiosk that would have been right here. I think we got rid of it. We're now right across the street from the Natural History Museum. We're at 82nd Street now and Central Park West. So the Natural History Museum is here. Oh, look at this shot. Let's see if we can get this shot here. Let's see if we get the shot. You were posing for me, buddy. Why? I thought you were posing for me. The squirrel was posing for us. The squirrel was posing perfectly for us. I wish he didn't move. Anyway, you guys are more than welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying. Dinette, I'm glad you're enjoying this. You've been here for a hot minute, Dinette. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging on out with me. We're not done yet, Dinette. We still got a lot more to see. LW, welcome on in. Good to see you, Rolo. Good to see you from Johannesburg, South Africa. So we just get a little bit of the park here, a little bit of the outside here. The regular world, just right out there, right by the Diana Ross Playground. And the Diana Ross Playground was built in 1984 because in 1983, in July of 1983, Diana Ross played a concert on the Great Lawn. She sang at least 8 songs and a complete raining downpour, lightning and thunder. At the time, the head of the Central Park Conservancy at one point, oh, look at this.
A 20-mile bike ride yesterday and doing laps of Central Park today.
You're more than welcome. Shruggable! Let's go, Shruggable! With a 20-pound super chat. Shruggable. Thank you so much for the very generous 20-pound super chat. Thanks for joining today's 20-pound club. Much, much, much appreciated with a big 20-pound super chat. Shruggable, I'm doing my best to entertain you here in the greatest city in the world. Welcome on in. I appreciate you. You're on vacation. Nice. See, I do the walking for you. This is the main maintenance shed for Central Park. Right here. Having a New York moment here. I'm going to let that guy go. He's having very much a New York moment. But thank you so much, Shruggable. Very kind of you. Indeed. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cross the road right here. Why did Dutch Mouse cross the road? To get to Shakespeare Garden. That's the answer. So we're going to go to Shakespeare Garden. We'll do a quick look around of Shakespeare Garden. And then we'll come back out and we'll head down to Strawberry Fields. Now we're still missing a lot of major landmarks of the park. Like we're not going to see Harlem Mere. We're not going to see the Block House, the North Woods. Yes, my tribute to the equipment that maintains Central Park. Yes, indeed. So now we came down that pathway across the way there. Delacorte Theater is just beyond the trees over there. We're going to hang the right here. Ooh, this guy's going fast. So this right here, this is the spot where Bono from U2 had his bike accident. He was probably going that fast, and during that time, right here where I'm walking, there would have been a bunch of barricades to separate the pedestrians from the bikes, and there was a jogger or a walker, we don't know who, a man or a woman. They were walking on the other side of the barricades. Bono was flying down here on his bike. He tried to avoid the person, and in doing so, he wiped out, and he began to tumble with his bike still attached to him. So he started tumbling right back here, started tumbling, and he came to a stop right here at the fire hydrant. And the only reason why I know this is because I was actually doing a bicycle tour, and we passed him right after he had his accident. We actually saw him get put into the ambulance. And I did not know it was Bono until a couple of days later. Central Park is 843 acres, or 341 hectares large. It's a 52 block deep park. Good to see you, Mario, out there in Houston, Texas.
At Forever_Blessed81 became a member. At Forever_Blessed81 celebrates 12 months of membership. I appreciate all of your streams. Smiley face emoji.
Well, thank you so much for being a channel member for the last year, Forever Blessed. Forever Blessed, thank you so much for having faith in me as a content creator. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. And thank you so much for being one of us. One of us. Gooba gaba, one of us. One of us. Forever Blessed, one of us. Here underneath the scaffolding is the Swedish Cottage, also known as the Marionette Theater. This is a pre-built schoolhouse built for the Philadelphia Exposition of 1876. It was brought over here a few years later after that World's Fair. Actually, Calvert Vaux saw it on display and said, I gotta have that in my park. Today, that is the home of New York City Parks Department's puppetry division. How's Lady Astoria? Astoria the turkey is doing fantastic. We'll probably get an update on her on tonight's 10 o'clock show. But right here next to the Swedish Cottage, it's a Shakespeare Garden right here. This is Shakespeare Garden. And it's very, I wish we had smell-o-vision. It is very fragrant. Oh, look at the dew on that. Look at the colors on these guys. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at how nice this is. Oh. Now obviously Shakespeare Garden is best in the springtime, but even here during the height of summer, it is still very, very beautiful. Look at the colors on these guys. Wow. All right, I think since we're here, we might as well go see Belvedere Castle, right, guys? Let's climb up some more hillage. Let's just keep climbing. Let's keep climbing. And we'll take the ramp. We'll take the ramp up. Yeah, let's go Belvedere Castle. Summit Rock. Summit Rock we came from. Now we're going to Vista Rock. That's where Belvedere Castle is built on. There it is. It could be raining a lot. It's going to be warm, but rain, it depends on the pattern. Good to see a Kyra. Watch the 10 o'clock show and I'll have a 7-day forecast. Oh, in autumn it's the best. Ah, yes. Welcome to Vista Rock. Oh, awesome, Taldor. Hope you had a great ride. All right. Welcome to Vista Rock. Here, we look out onto the Great Lawn. Down beneath us, the Turtle Pond. Off to our left-hand side, a Delacorte Theater. As we look towards the Upper East Side. It is very humid out here, guys. Yeah, Central Park workout. You got that right. The Belvedere Castle here, once again, just like the Gatsbo Bridge, is built out of refuse rock from the construction of Central Park. When Belvedere Castle was completed in 1872, this was literally just a piece of the landscape. It had no windows. It wasn't an enclosed building at all. It was just like a piece of landscape that anybody could go into. By 1980, the structure was completely falling apart. It was all full of graffiti. And this was one of the first victories that the Central Park Conservancy had. They really cleaned up this structure and it looks absolutely gorgeous today. And it's a great way to walk up to the top there, get in the view. And then we look down towards the Great Lawn. Just a beautiful sight. But the Belvedere Castle is also a gift shop as well. Let's see, can we see any turtles today? Yes, we can. Look, let me show you guys the turtles. Some turtles down there.
You can watch the show right here. Imagine they keep that in small. Go away. Go away. Oh, look, it's back.
There's some turtles. There's some turtles for you guys. Enjoying the humidity here in Central Park. How cool is that? So earlier in the stream, we walked right across there. But yeah, hey Kim, you know, you can check out the replay, man. I'm here in the autumn as well, so you can come and see it. But now, we're gonna go into the Ramble now, into the Ramble. This building was also designed by Calbert Vox. Now, beginning in 1865, they used to collect weather data from here, and it's actually one of the oldest weather stations in the United States. They collected the weather from the top of Belvedere Castle for many years. Also, the Count from Sesame Street. That used to be his abode as well. In the 1960s, they moved the weather station to where it is today, which is right over here. And as you can see, because we are surrounded by trees, this weather station for wind is completely useless. But actually, you see that temperature reading right there at the bottom of the screen? It says 76 degrees. It is coming from right here. It is coming from literally right there. But because of all the trees and all the foliage around it, the wind meter is completely useless. So during the height of Hurricane Sandy, this weather meter was registering a calm wind. How funny is that? A calm wind. Let's head in to the Ramble, everybody. This is the most wooded area of Central Park. This is the spot where you go bird watching. This is the spot right here. This is where Sean of Bagels and Walks is wandering around. Now, as the name suggests, it's the Ramble. You're meant to simply ramble about here. Central Park was designed in a way for you to get lost in. So here, we don't really have too many of these light poles here. You get into some more interior parts, there's no lights at all in this area. Yeah, the Count's Castle. Watch some of those old episodes of Sesame Street and they're showing you Belvedere Castle. H. Flores, I'm glad you're enjoying the tour. Welcome to the Ramble. This is the most wooded area of the park. We're rambling about in the nature. And there's no one perfect way to ramble through here. You just gotta have to ramble about and figure it out. It could be very dangerous at night cruising for a bluesing. Good to see you. It could be scary. I mean, for me it's not scary, but it could be scary for people. Actually, didn't Action Kid do a video in here once where he walked through here in the middle of the night? And like 5 minutes into the video, you got some guy in the dark saying, "Shut the fucking camera off." He walks around with like a 4,000 lumen flashlight. One of my favorite Action Kid videos. So I was like, he had a lot of chutzpah to do that. He turns on the flashlight. It's like 2 seconds later. Shut that fucking flashlight off. It's very cool in here, April. It's very cool in here. Perfectly candid, by some accounts it still is. By some accounts it still is. Actually never seen this many cars come through here before. Now see, the drive is just up there. We're gonna stay out of the drive for a little bit more here. Stay inside the Rambles. And then look at that view. Look at this view. Look how cool that is. That's the Oak Bridge right down there. Let's actually walk over the Oak Bridge and then we'll walk over the Bow Bridge. The Bow Bridge, one of the most famous areas, or one of the most filmed locations in Central Park. And then after Bow Bridge, we'll head over to Strawberry Fields. Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend coming through here at night because there's no lights. And don't walk here with a 7,000 lumen flashlight. It may not be the best thing to do either. Yeah, exactly, perfectly candid. Yeah, this is the Ramble. Very beautiful area here, very wooded. Here's a good old oak bridge and the lake. No special name, just called the lake. The lake comes all the way back into here. A lot of silt on the bottom of the lake here right now. So it's not very deep, maybe about a foot or two deep, maybe about 2-3 feet deep. Man, look at the view right here towards Billionaires Row. We got a little rowboat coming through here. How nice is that? As once I stop walking, my glasses start fogging up. Let's get back into the Ramble here. Let's go to Bow Bridge. Now it's kind of crazy. I've actually memorized most of the Ramble. Keyword is most, not all of it. Look at this Manhattan schist right here. And here's that great little archway here. So there's a pathway above us and us beneath. How cool is this? Well, Astoria Park is different. There's a lot more lighting in Astoria Park. Let's go this way. We're rambling, people. We're rambling around the Ramble. See, this area of the park usually can't take tourists through here because it's super hilly. Central Park is beautiful, Tina. Good to see you. It's a lovely little water feature right here. Yeah, I get lost from time to time, especially in this area, but I eventually figure out where the hell I am. The key word is eventually. Okay, so there's a lake, and then we have like a little babbling brook here, a little stream, and then we keep on following the street lights here. That's kind of like the trick. If you follow where the poles are, where the street lights are, you could get out of the Ramble fairly quickly. Yeah, Jean, I mentioned that earlier. Many films and TV shows, even video games, take place here in Central Park. Music videos. Ashford and Simpson filmed Solid as a Rock underneath a bridge on the east side of the park. I appreciate that, Jean. Yeah, Hair was filmed here. We walked through Bethesda Terrace earlier, and that was a very pivotal spot in the movie Hair. Look at the sun coming through the the foliage here. How great is that? All right, we're coming up to Bow Bridge, everybody. Spider Rossetti, welcome on in. That sun is trying to come out. Wow, it's 1 o'clock. We've been now at it for 3 hours here in the park. And we're still not done yet. We still have a few more landscapes to see before we exit the park. But now, again, one of the most photographed areas, one of the most famous areas here in Central Park is the Bow Bridge. The Bow Bridge is a cast iron and wood bridge. It was built in 1859. It was designed by Calvert Vaux. And it's recently, as you could tell, been restored. I think of that scene in Made in Manhattan that was filmed here. Jennifer Lopez filmed right here. Okay. And then we look out to the west. We can see the Dakota from here. Let me show you the Dakota. The Dakota is that building with the points on it. Right over there. Look at that, the sky's beginning to clear out. It's getting really, you know, it was humid before, now it's like even more humid. I would say, dare say, it's annoyingly humid. Yeah, restored in the 70s. All right, coming up next, Strawberry Fields. Let's do it. Now, did these girls realize they're standing where the Beatles, 3 of the Beatles, right before they played the Ed Sullivan Show, they took a picture right there where those girls are standing. How fun is that? The twin towers of the San Remo apartments, designed by Emery Roth. A tavern on the green, Myrna. Tavern on the Green it's called, and we're gonna see that after we swing by Strawberry Fields. Yeah, I love Made in Manhattan. Yeah, me too. I'm not even a J-Lo fan, but it's just a fun movie. That's where we're going next, Sweet Cheetah. Strawberry Fields coming up next. I should live stream a boat ride with me and the Duchess in there. Look how pretty that bridge. That bridge is designed. It's meant to like blend in with the landscape. So that's why it looks the way it does. These beautiful views here. And then at the top of this hill here, this is we're gonna come up to Cherry Hill. Right over here. This is where you parked your carriage before you walked over to the mall. That's where you met your friends. You met your friends at Cherry Hill at the fountain, and then you made your way over to the mall to show off your wealth. Hanktown, good to see you, Hank. That bridge is gorgeous. I mean, for the most part, the entire park is a National Historic Landmark. Brazil. Boa tarde, Brazil. So this is Cherry Hill. The fountain is not the Friends fountain. Now, for some reason, in a DVD release of the Friends TV show, there was a bonus thing in that DVD set, and they said that this was the fountain used in the opening of the Friends TV show. This is not that fountain. That fountain was actually in Los Angeles. I don't know why the TV show, well, I don't know why the DVD series even said that, because there should be buildings behind it. But that is the Cherry Hill Fountain. And a lot of mud up here. A lot of silt and mud up here. That is where the horse, exactly. See, you see this, that rickshaw driver. He's being truthful with his tour guiding. That is the fountain where the horses used to drink from. That is correct. You parked your carriages here, and then you walked over to where the mall is. Or you maybe came by there, let your horse drink, and then you take the horse over to the pathway adjacent to the mall. Statue of the Falconeer, right up there. And then coming up is a statue that has a great story behind them, because like somebody mentioned earlier, they built Central Park, or construction was well underway of the park when the Civil War broke out, and it did very much slow down progress of the construction of the park. But now in this section of the park here on the west side, below 72nd Street, or below Calvert, Olmsted and Vaux Way right here, there's a lot of monuments here that pay honor to Civil War figures. And here we have Daniel Webster. Liberty and Union now and forever, one and inseparable. He was a state senator for New Hampshire who advocated for the union of the North and South. There are a bunch of these statues all along the East Coast, basically that look exactly the same to this statue right here, with one notable difference. Here, Daniel Webster is like 3 times his size. All the other statues of Daniel Webster actually feature him in his actual real world size. So, but thanks to him, we still have that union together. And now just across the way here is Strawberry Fields. Right across the street is a Dakota, the apartment building where unfortunately John Lennon was assassinated. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But in 1983, Yoko Ono was able to acquire this section of Central Park. Fundamentally, it is in the shape of a teardrop. These pathways here that surround us are in the shape of a teardrop. And in 1985, this area formally opens as Strawberry Fields on John Lennon's 45th birthday, October 9th, 1985. And every year, everybody comes out here, celebrates John's life. As Yoko Ono's request, come here on his birthday, not on the date of his assassination. So celebrate his life. 151 countries recognize Strawberry Fields as an international peace garden. And coming up is the plaque here, the dedication plaque for Strawberry Fields, featuring all those 151 countries that recognize Strawberry Fields as an international peace garden. There it is, right there. when John Lennon was first assassinated, somebody did actually place a statue of him right here in the park, right here in this section of the park. Yoko did not want anything to idolize John, so she immediately had the statue removed. You can see that statue today in the Liverpool International Airport. But the main feature is now in its place, and that's the Imagine Mosaic. The Imagine Mosaic is a simple black and white tiled mosaic featuring or saying the word imagine. I don't know if we're on still. Let me make sure. Okay, I guess we are on. So, the black and white tiled mosaic that has the words imagine, this mosaic is a gift from the city of, oh my God, it's a city in Italy. The clay tiles were made from Mount Vesuvius at Pompeii. Oh my God. Oh, is it city of Milan, right? City of Milan. I've talked about so much stuff today, I'm forgetting. Yes, it's a gift from the city of Milan, Italy to the city of New York. Simple black and white tiles with the word imagine in it. And the tiles were made from clay from Mount Vesuvius at Pompeii. I'm gonna be quiet, let you guys hear the music. And here it is, the Imagine Mosaic. Now, why is he playing Wild Horses? I have no idea. All right, we now come to the Dakota, ladies and gentlemen. This is where John and Yoko lived. I could show you their apartment. It's right over here. That sun coming out is making everything really warm. So here it is. The Dakota apartments are as old as the Brooklyn Bridge. It was built in 1880, or completed in 1883. Now, it had a joke. The developers had a joke. They said it was built so far north of New York that it might as well be in the Dakota territories. And the name stuck. So, sounds much better than 1 West 72nd Street. But John and Yoko's apartment is right there on the penthouse level, so the 8th floor, right there at that black railing. Each floor has 4 apartments, each facing each corner. Between 1973 and 1977, John and Yoko buy the 2 neighboring apartments on the 8th floor and create a 40-room apartment, 40. Because on the penthouse level, your apartment begins there at the fence, and then you get to 2 levels above that. So their only neighbor on the 8th floor was the great Roberta Flack. There was some really good music on the 8th floor of Dakota. But unfortunately, John Lennon was assassinated right there at the entrance of Dakota, where that bus stop is. It truly is a shame. I always like to think about what would John Lennon think about live streaming and internet culture, and I kind of always think about that kind of stuff. But now we begin to walk down. Coming up next is going to be Tavern on the Green, but still continuing on with my John and Yoko stories. This is where I met Yoko Ono, was right here. I met Yoko right here. on a cold, it was either March or February day. Me and Yoko walked down. I came up from behind her, and I go, "Oh my goodness, Yoko, oh no." So I'm missing comments on my end here, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, the Liverpool airport is called John Lennon Liverpool Airport. Yeah, you can walk on the mosaic. Yeah, it's fine. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Dean. No, Yoko still owns the apartment, but she doesn't live here in the Dakota anymore. She lives up in a farm in upstate New York. So there used to be 18 strawberry bushes from all around the world, LW, that used to be planted in strawberry fields. But unfortunately, our little birds here in Central Park like eating the berries. So the 18 strawberry bushes did not last very long. Unfortunately. Yeah, 40 rooms. Yeah, Lauren Bacall lived in Dakota as well. Muriel, good to see you, Muriel. Naples, thank you so much. It's a gift from Naples, Italy. Yes, thank you. Not Milan, Naples. For some reason, I have lost my chat on this phone here. I lost chat on the stream phone, which is super annoying. Let's see if I could maybe reconnect everything here. There we go. Yeah, I do have stories for days here in Central Park. Jimi Hendrix, I think Jimi Hendrix of downtown. And yes, unfortunately, I refuse to say his name. As a person who loves John Lennon, I refuse to say, I would not consider him a fan. He wanted to be, in his rambling manifesto, he wrote why he wanted to kill John Lennon. And he had a whole laundry list of other people who he wanted to kill, just so he could become famous and have tour guides like me say his name. So I refuse to say his name. If you want to look up his name, look it up. Please do not put it in the chat. I do not want that asshole to get any kind of recognition at all, because that's what he wanted. But we continue on. We continue on. Anybody watching on Twitch? Can you guys comment on Twitch? Let me know. I've lost all my telemetry on the stream phone. Maybe we'll get it back. I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't deserve to be remembered. And Yoko always goes to the parole hearing every year. Angel DNA. Oh, look at this. We're getting all our telemetry back. It's good here. Awesome, guys. Awesome. We're slowly but surely getting all our telemetry back. Good to see everybody. All right. I think I lost YouTube chat on the stream phone. I got it on my other device here, so that's good. To think we have been now in the park for 3.5 hours. Again, I told you not to put it in the chat. Why did you put his name in the chat? Don't put his name in the chat. I don't want him to get any kind of recognition. After I said don't put it in the chat, you put it in the chat. Don't do that. I'm a very big fan of John Lennon. And I think about it all the time about what he would think about live streaming and stuff like that. So I refuse to let him get any kind of recognition on any of my platforms. But I literally just said, please don't put it in the chat. Anyway, and it is closed. Across the way is the sheep's meadow, and as the name suggests, we used to use sheep to cut the grass on the sheep's meadow. And back in the day, they used to live right across the street, right over here. This is the old sheepfold. Today, it's a restaurant called Tavern on the Green. Tavern on the Green, not as expensive as it used to be back in the day. It's still kind of pricey, but it's a very famous spot. How many movies have used Tavern on the Green to film? And then right behind it, 55 Central Park West. Spook Central. There's the Ghostbusters building. Right over there. So there's the Ghostbusters building. There's Tavern on the Green. You can use the red takeout window to get almost everything on the menu at a bit of a discount because you're not eating inside the restaurant. They have a really good coffee and a really nice beer selection in there. And yeah, Sweet Cheetah, I think about that all the time, Sweet Cheetah. Oh, he would have been pushing, I think John Lennon would have been pushing 85. Yeah, 85. He would have been like 85. The real Eric Mendoza, good to see you. I know, Carol. I remember that, Carol. I remember that, Carol. Yeah, but I always think about, I always wonder, what would John Lennon think about the world today? What would he think about live streaming, internet culture? I wish he was around for live streaming. I think he would have been a world shaker. But now also, right here at Tavern on the Green, this is the finish line. Right here is the finish line to the New York City Marathon. And here is our finish line right there, guys. There is the finish line to the New York City Marathon. Right there. 55,000 people come running towards us on that first Saturday in November. Sorry, first Sunday in November. One of my favorite days. And then of course Sheep's Meadow right over here. Of course this is the site of a German family-owned rock quarry. It looked nothing like this. Yeah, you never knew that about that plaque? I'm telling you, Myrna, I'm giving you the whole kit and caboodle here. You're getting the whole show here today. So hopefully if you guys ever plan to visit Central Park or anything like that, you know, hopefully you guys could take some notes. There's the red takeout windows right over there for Tavern on the Green. So you could order almost everything on the menu at a bit of a discount. And just go right across the street and enjoy it here in the park. But as we pass the finish line to the New York City Marathon, it is now, unfortunately, we're going to skip a few things. We're skipping the zoo and the Delacorte clock because those are on the east side of the park. So unfortunately, we will be skipping those today because your boy is getting ready to use the bathroom. We have been on since 10 o'clock this morning. So we're at 3 hours and 3.5 hours now. How crazy is that? Does it feel like 3.5 hours? Yeah, come on up, Sally. Yeah, I cannot wait till November either. Come on and visit someday. It's nice. But we had it's time to slowly make our way back to reality. What? I gotta leave the park? I gotta leave the bucolic Beautiful area. Yeah, I'll show you guys. We'll do the east side of the park on another stream. Absolutely. Oh, awesome, Darren. Hope you have a great time here at Pratt. Awesome. Welcome to the stream. Danette, you're more than welcome. This is always very, you know, it's like a meditation for me to come out here and to show you the beautiful park. But we have a lot of people to thank, so we're gonna get we gotta get a comfy spot somewhere. Actually, I'm gonna go by the bathrooms. That's what I'll do. I'll go by the bathrooms because your boy has to, like a horse. I gotta finally have a, what do they call it on the Tour de France? A natural break. Oh my goodness, the yellow, the blue line, guys. See this blue line right here? This is the New York City Marathon route. This is the blue line right there. Look at that. Yay. Yeah, imagine going to school here. Oh my goodness. All right, yeah, let's find a little spot to sit down. And we'll bring our tour in for a landing. I'm also ready for lunch as well. Ziggy and the Spiders from Mars. Your friend's doing a Beatles show at Strawberry Fields at the moment? Was that your friend playing just now before? He was playing Wild Horses? It's pretty cool. Susan Murphy, you're more than welcome. We could be in this park for like 6 hours and you're still not going to see all the landmarks here in the park. It's kind of crazy.
I can't.
It's kind of crazy how much you could get into this park and go exploring around. There's so many little details, so many little things that you could focus on, whether it be the architecture, the history, who lived here before, the park's initial uses, the park's later uses, you know, the birds. Look at these birds hanging out. They're in the grass. You guys are more than welcome. My back teeth must be floating. No, my back teeth are not floating. But my back is sweaty. My back is very sweaty. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Ziggy, I've been out here many years to show that. I like to come out here on John's birthday and watch everybody play music. It's beautiful. All right, let's head. I see my benches where I usually start the stream. I see my benches down the way. Yeah, 5 out of 5. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, the Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles are always playing down here. You're friends with Eric the drummer? Nice. Yeah, Eric's a friend of the channel as well. The Beatles are friends of the channel. So big shout out to the Beatles. And follow the Beatles. They're always playing here in Central Park. Follow them on Facebook. They got a YouTube channel and I think they're on TikTok as well. And they as well has an Instagram. So follow the Beatles. There's some beautiful musicians there who know how to play some beautiful music, I have to say. Oh, awesome. From 11 to 12. Nice. Okay. Damn, you're here for the whole duration there. Nice. All right. Well, we did it, people. We had our walk around Central Park. It was a fun tour. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Wasn't that a cute corgi? All the cute dogs are out here. All the cute dogs. All right, time to do the big thank you, guys. L'chaim! I'm getting myself a refresher before I hop on the train. Okay, this is gonna feel really weird. I'm gonna do something called sitting down. Oh, we're sitting down for the first time all day. Oh, did you guys enjoy that? Hope you guys enjoyed that. That's 3 hours and 40 minutes we have been walking around. This has definitely been a masterpiece of a live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed that. A big shout out to all 320 of y'all who hit that like button, but more importantly, to all of the super chatters. Like Forever Blessed, thank you so much, Forever Blessed, for being a channel member for the last 12 months. I appreciate you. And Shruggable with a big 20-pound super chat. Much appreciated there. And Diana Lee with a big 10-pound super chat. Thank you so much, Diana Lee. And Carol813 with a big $10 super chat. Much appreciated. Myrna Bergen with a big $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much. Blue Max 1611 with a big $20. You bought my lunch there, Blue Max. Thank you, man. Lunch fund is secured. Thank you. And the Investigator with a big $20 super chat. Much appreciated. And Kim Jensing, the big spender of the morning, with a big $50 super chat. My wet shoes have dried off, Kim. My wet shoes have dried off. Sally Skipico with not one but two $1 super chats. Thank you so much for the $2 there, Sally. Much appreciated. Jay Strolls added another $2 to the Dunkin' Donuts fund. Thank you so much, Jay Strolls, for the big $2 super chat. John Yukis with a big $10 super chat. Thank you so much there, John. I'm glad you enjoyed your Monday. I'm happy you're starting your Monday with me, John. Much appreciated. Loco Tutti Frutti with a big $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Loco Tutti Frutti, with the big $2. And Catherine Drew with a big $5 super chat. And Mrs. Metalhead Warrior starting out all the super chat love with a big $20 super chat. Much appreciated, y'all. Much appreciated everybody who hung out with me. I'm glad you guys enjoyed our walk around Central Park. It's time to give my feet a little bit of a break. We'll probably be on at 10 o'clock tonight and do our 10 o'clock show. So join me then, and then we'll hang out some more. But from a very humid Central Park, this is Dutch Moz signing off. Have yourself a fantastic New York City day, whether you can afford to live here or not. I want you to hug your loved ones. Cherish those wonderful and beautiful moments. And good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Calabash, wherever you are. Bye-bye, everybody. See ya. Bye.